Chapter 1662. After such a long journey, Li Chuiying was indeed a little tired. After listening to old Zhao's family, she went into the second branch's house. Old Zhao's family, who had gathered together, also dispersed. This was because the news of the white tiger coming down from the mountain to the village had spread. During the day, the villagers didn't wander around the village, except for those who had to go out to do work. They were afraid that an accident would happen, and they would be eaten by the white tiger on the mountain. Nothing was more important than life these days. If you lost your life, you would lose everything. Zhao Yin'er felt that she shouldn't give up eating for fear of choking. The villagers didn't dare to go out, because they were afraid of the white tiger. She didn't think there was anything to be afraid of. If the white tiger really came down from the mountain, it would be easy to deal with it in the village. Not long after Zhao Yin'er went to the big house at the foot of the mountain, the furniture store sent the things over. There were several beds and cabinets, and it took 3 ox carts to bring them over. These pieces of furniture added together were extremely luxurious and shocking. Mulan's custom-made furniture was less than Zhao Yin'er's, so it only took 1 ox cart to send it over. Because there were many people in Zhao Yin'er's family, they had to prepare a few more beds. When Zhao Tianan married Mu Hin, they had to prepare a wedding house. In this wedding house, the bed, wardrobe, and other basic furniture had to be prepared. They couldn't let such a good girl like Mu Hin suffer after marrying over. When the ox carts came to the village and saw so many pieces of furniture, some villagers who were bold and liked to join in the fun came out to watch. In broad daylight, with a few people together, even if the white tiger came over, there shouldn't be any big danger. One by one, they went to Zhao Yin'er's new house to join in the fun. However, compared to before, there were much fewer people joining in the fun. Zhao Yin'er's family had built a big house, and now they bought so many pieces of furniture. How much money did they spend? Originally, everyone in the village was about the same. Their lives were also ordinary. They were not rich and powerful. Now, only Zhao Yin'er's family had become an exception. How grand would it be to live in a big house with such furniture? It was almost the same as the big families in town. It would be a lie to say that they weren't jealous. What people hated the most was to see someone who was about the same as you suddenly become rich one day. The contrast in their hearts would cause them to feel a huge gap in their hearts. Naturally, they would feel unhappy. Oh, my old Zhao's third branch is really rich. They must have spent a lot of money to buy so much furniture, right? That's right. With so much furniture, how could they not spend money? I don't think you can buy these things without at least 3 or 4 taels of silver. I say, since old Zhao's third branch is so rich, why don't they buy a house in town instead of spending so much money to build a house? He's not the same as us, so he shouldn't stay in the village. You don't know, but it's not cheap to buy a house in town. Their family is rich in the village, but it's not necessarily the case in town. How can they have a sense of superiority in front of us? They're deliberately showing it to us, so that we can be envious and jealous. However, there's no other way. I have to admit that old Zhao's third branch's life is getting better and better. They're much better than us. Oh, that's right. They're different from us. We can't climb up to such a neighbor. Yes, we can't. They're rich now, and we're poor. Chapter 1663. These villagers' words were more sour than the other. To put it bluntly, they were jealous and couldn't bear to see others doing well. Zhao Yin'er's family's conditions suddenly improved so much that they hated her. Zhao Yin'er heard the words of the surrounding villagers, but did not pay attention to these people. Others could say whatever they wanted. That was their business, and she couldn't care less. Her family's life was good, and others couldn't take advantage of it. They could only watch. Several ox carts stopped in front of Zhao Yin'er's house. At this time, they were delivering furniture to him. The coachman's forehead was full of sweat. Zhao Yin'er just prepared a pot of tea, so he let the coachman rest for a while and drink a cup of water. The cart drivers didn't expect Zhao Yin'er to be so polite. They took the tea and drank it with a smile. Usually they didn't drink tea. They only drank ordinary water. The first time they tasted it, they felt that it was exceptionally delicious. When they drank the tea, they felt that it was slightly bitter at first. Later, they felt that it was sweet and had a special taste. Moreover, it could quench their thirst. After drinking a cup of tea, the heat dissipated, and their entire body felt much more comfortable. In order to support their families and earn more money, they couldn't wait to make a few more trips a day. Every time they made a trip, they would settle the bill. Even under the hot sun, it was no exception. At this time, people were about to get a heat stroke. For the sake of money, they still took the ox cart. Usually, after they made a trip to deliver the goods, the owner wouldn't be so polite to them. Zhao Yun was one of the few. "Uncles, please sit down and cool down. I've taken up a bit of your time. I'll find someone to help move it down." Seeing that Zhao Yun was so polite, the cart driver smiled and said, "There's no need to find someone. We'll help move it." Zhao Yun was a little embarrassed. "Won't this be too troublesome for you, uncles? These things are quite heavy. It's a bit tiring to move them. You're already tired enough to come all the way here under the hot sun to deliver the goods." The cart drivers waved their hands and said, "It's okay. Now that I've drunk a cup of tea, I feel much better. With the few of us together, it should be very fast to move it. Then we won't have to go through the trouble of finding him." Zhao Yun saw that the coachmen were honest people, and their attitudes were sincere. Although she was a little embarrassed, she nodded in agreement and said, "Then I'll have to trouble you, uncles." In addition to her, there was also Mu Lianfeng and 3 coachmen, who delivered the furniture. In less than 20 minutes, the furniture was brought back and placed in the room. After confirming that they were safe, the coachman left. Zhao Yun looked at the originally empty house. Because of the furniture, it suddenly became more full. However, she still had to buy some other things when she got back and tidy up the house. It definitely wouldn't be worse than the house of a rich family. Now that all the furniture had been prepared, the third branch of the family could arrange to move into the new house. "I'll pack up when I get back. I'll be staying in a new house tonight." When the surrounding villagers saw this, they couldn't do anything other than envy and jealousy. Who didn't want to live in a big house? However, they didn't have the money. Zhao Yun's family would probably need dozens of taels to settle this. How many families in the village could take out so much money? Chapter 1664. Zhao Yun really hadn't thought about holding a banquet. After all, holding a banquet wasn't a simple matter. It was rather troublesome. It seemed that there was such a custom in the village. Basically, when a new house was built, the people living in the new house would hold a banquet. "I'll ask my mother about this later." Zhao Yun replied with a smile. It would be better if they didn't have to hold a banquet. If they had to, they would take care of it together with Liang Jinxiao. It wasn't as if their family hadn't held one before. The old lady nodded and said, "That's good. If you want to hold a banquet, let me know. However, for the sake of celebration, Yunner girl, your family definitely has to hold a banquet. It's just for the sake of liveliness." Zhao Yunner smiled and agreed. The people in the village had eaten at Zhao Yunner's banquet last time. They knew that Zhao Yunner's family had prepared a lot of meat dishes that tasted very good. They would spend a few copper coins to join in the fun and freeload a meal. On the contrary, they profited. After giving the third branch's gift money, this favor would still be there. When their family held a banquet, the third branch would naturally have to return the gift money. Got it. Haha, today is a good day for your family. Granny is also happy to see it. Seeing the smile on the old lady's face, Zhao Yun's heart warmed. Not everyone in this village was so bad. Some of them had good hearts. She didn't need to pay attention to some people. It was fine to interact with people with good characters. After arranging the furniture in the house, Zhao Yun went to call Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua, so that they could prepare to move out of old Zhao's house. She went with Beichen Ming to the small rundown house that she had lived in for a few months to pack up her things. There weren't many things in the small rundown house. Other than a few quilts, there were only a few pieces of her clothes. Very quickly, after 2 or 3 rounds of moving, everything was moved to the new house. As for the third branch, Zhao Wenhua, Zhao Tianan and Liang Jinxiao were there. There was more than enough manpower. The people from the first branch, the fourth branch, and Li Chuiying helped out a little. In a short while, the third branch's room was emptied. The first branch was not a good person. They took the initiative to offer help. Feng Zhangxia thought that if the third branch emptied the room, they would be able to make a wedding room for Tianhu. Naturally, she would be more attentive at this time. What if the third branch did not give the room to the first branch, but gave it to the other two branches? As for the fourth branch, they had always been on good terms with the third branch. Zhao Wentao and Qian Hongzhao were both good people. They were usually happy to help, so they helped to move things together. Li Chuiying remembered that when she fell into the latrine pit, it was Liang Jinxiao who did not mind her, and pulled her up. At this moment, he finally found a chance to repay his kindness. Seeing that the third branch had moved out of old Zhao's house, the first branch was happy that the third branch had moved out of the room. The fourth branch was happy that the third branch could live in the big house. Only Hu Chunhua stood in the courtyard pouting. Her expression was uncertain. Zhao Baoshan caught a glimpse of Hu Chunhua's sullen face and asked in confusion, "Old woman, what's with your reaction? It's a happy event for the third branch to move into the new house. You're making it look like a funeral. How unlucky." Hu Chunhua glared at Zhao Baoshan and said, "What am I happy about? What's there to be happy about? The third branch is moving into the new house, but they won't take me with them." The corner of Zhao Baoshan's mouth twitched. "I was wondering why you were unhappy. So it's because of this." "I'm right. I raised a son for nothing. He's living a good life without his mother." Chapter 1665. Playing dumb? Why would I play dumb? You know very well that Yin is the one who built the house. Why are you arguing with third brother? That Yin girl is not a good person. Our old Zhao family has raised her for nothing. Zhao Baoshan snorted. All right. No one is to blame for this. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself. Blame yourself for making a wrong judgment back then. Tell me, if you were nicer to Yin back then, she might have been nicer to you back then. If you don't move in now, then you deserve it. You old man, how can you say that? You only know how to speak up for that girl. Hu Chunhua complained with great dissatisfaction. I'm not speaking up for anyone. I'm just speaking the truth. If you're nice to others, they'll be nice to you. As a grandmother, don't use your seniority to oppress others. Don't flaunt your seniority. Hu Chunhua realized that she couldn't win against Zhao Baoshan in an argument. What kind of magic potion did the third branch feed her old man? He was always speaking up for them. Seeing the third branch moving in and out of the house, Hu Chunhua felt even more uneasy. She also had to build a new house. She couldn't live worse than the third branch, so that Zhao Yin could be proud. By the time Zhao Yin finished moving in and arranging everything, it was already 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Seeing that the sun had dimmed a lot, it seemed that it was time to prepare dinner. Zhao Yin had already bought the ingredients in the morning and moved them to the new house. She just needed to prepare some dishes and cook them. With Liang Jinxiao around, the two of them got busy very quickly. Qian Zhuzhao enthusiastically helped to wash and pick the vegetables, while Zhao Yin was in charge of cooking. Mu Lianfeng saw that Zhao Yin had bought a fish back. It weighed about 2 to 3 caddies, and could be cooked several big bowls. Zhao Yin wanted to eat braised fish, so she bought a big one. She just wanted to slice the fish and make some fish soup. When the whole family was eating together, old Zhao's family probably didn't care about the side dishes. They didn't usually eat meat dishes. What they rarely ate was meat. They bought 2 caddies of meat and braised it in a big bowl. They could even stir-fry some shredded meat with the side dishes. This kind of meal be served until the new year. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng was about to kill the fish with a knife, Qian Zhozha hurriedly stepped forward and stopped Mu Lianfeng. Lord Heir, let me kill this fish. Please rest. Mu Lianfeng raised his head and glanced at Qian Zhozha. He smiled and said, It's fine. I'll do it. Let me do it. Mu Lianfeng was a little puzzled. It's really okay. I know how to do this. Yin taught me. Fourth aunt, you don't have to help. However, Qian Zhui insisted. Heir apparent, although this isn't a tiring task, the fishy smell on the fish is too strong. You can't smell it. What if the fish's blood splashes onto your body while you're doing it? Your clothes look very expensive. You should pay more attention to them. I'm wearing coarse clothes. It's better for me to do it. As she spoke, Qian Zhuzhao went forward and took the knife from Mu Lianfeng's hand. Then, she squatted down and began to kill the fish. Mu Lianfeng smiled helplessly. It seemed that he couldn't work in his usual clothes. He had to prepare some tattered clothes. That way, no one would stop him from doing farm work the next time he wanted to do it. Mu Lianfeng lowered his head and glanced at Qian Juzhao killing the fish. He had to admit that Qian Juzhao was much more skilled than him. Chapter 1666. Now that Zhao Yun'er's family had built a new house, the kitchen was bigger. Knowing that the few people in the family were gluttons and loved to eat, Zhao Yun'er prepared some delicious food from time to time. It would be more convenient for them to cook in the future if the kitchen was bigger. Usually, she liked to cook some food for herself. Previously, when two people entered the kitchen, they couldn't turn around. This time, there were 3 people in the kitchen, and it was still very spacious. There was a large table in the middle of the kitchen. There were bowls, chopsticks, and ingredients on it. There was also a chopping board for them to cut vegetables on. There were 2 windows in the kitchen. The lighting was very good, and the ventilation was good. In this season, one was most afraid of stuffiness when working in the kitchen. In the previous small kitchen, people couldn't stand it after a while. Now they didn't feel uncomfortable in the kitchen. Qian Red Date sighed as she helped to cut the vegetables. A big house is good. It's more comfortable to cook in a big kitchen. Liang Jinxiao smiled and replied, "Yes, I think it's good too. I never thought that I would live in a house like this one day. It feels like a dream." Qian Red Date laughed even more happily. "Haha, third sister-in-law, this is all because Yun'er is good. If it weren't for Yun'er, she wouldn't be able to live in a house like this." Liang Jinxiao nodded in response. There was a sense of pride between her eyebrows. The greatest blessing in her life was to give birth to such a daughter. She brought the family to live a good life after suffering. The 2 sisters-in-law chatted as they cut the vegetables. Soon they were ready. Zhao Yun'er got the money for the stove and started to cook. After a while, a strong fragrance wafted out of the kitchen, especially the smell of meat. They couldn't help but swallow their saliva. They couldn't wait to eat it immediately. At this moment, in addition to being tempted by the smell of Zhao Yun'er's cooking, they were also hungry because they moved back and forth in the afternoon. There was a lot of work to do. The noodles they ate at noon were easy to digest but not filling. Now they only felt that their stomachs were empty. In the kitchen, Zhao Yun'er quickly cooked a few dishes. In the evening, old Zhao's family came over. Zhao Yun'er knew old Zhao's family's fighting ability, so she prepared more food. She was afraid that those people wouldn't have enough to eat, and the 3rd branch wouldn't have enough to eat. In addition to the fresh vegetables, Zhao Yun'er stir-fried a plate of fresh meat with garlic moss, and added a few pieces of green pepper. The aroma of the fresh meat made people drool even more. In addition, he also prepared a bowl of loofah egg soup, and a plate of scrambled eggs. In total, there were more than 10 dishes on the table. "Yun'er girl, that's enough. You don't have to cook anymore," Qian Hongzhao hurriedly said after seeing Zhao Yun'er cook so many dishes. He was afraid that Zhao Yun'er would cook too much and not be able to finish it. If he couldn't finish it in this season, it would go bad easily. What a waste. Zhao Yun'er glanced at the dishes on the table. She was not sure. Under normal circumstances, 10 or 20 dishes would be enough. However, old Zhao's gluttonous family members, especially Zhao Wenxue, could eat a lot by themselves. After hesitating for a while, Zhao Yun'er said, "Fourth aunt, let's cook a few more dishes. Anyway, there are still dishes." "Hey girl, you're really not shabby when you're inviting people." "It's my duty," Zhao Yun'er said while her hands didn't stop moving. The stove was burning wood, and the fire was very strong. A dish could be cooked in the pot for a few minutes. It was more convenient to cook vegetables without stewing. Chapter 1667. The pancakes were made with flour and a few eggs. They were mixed together, and then heated up in a pot. Some rapeseed oil was added, and then dropped into the pot. One side of the pancake was cooked, turned over, and pasted on the other side. Because of the addition of eggs, the pancake was golden yellow. It was beautiful and fragrant, making people salivate. After a while, the food was finally ready. Zhao Yun'er stood in front of the stove, and her forehead was covered with sweat. Her back was also soaked. She had to wash it well at night, and then go to bed. "Dinner is ready, dinner is ready." Everyone, sit down quickly. Liang Jinxiao greeted old Zhao's family with a smile. Zhao Yun ordered a large round table among the furniture. Old Zhao's family could squeeze together and eat at the same table. Under normal circumstances, a table could not sit so many people. The women had to stand and not eat at the table. Now that they could all sit down, they were naturally happy. I've been hungry for a long time after smelling Yun'er's food. After waiting for so long, it's finally time. Yes, Yun'er's cooking is amazing. Let's not be stunned and eat quickly. Yes, let's eat quickly. Old Zhao's family was together and did not stand on ceremony. It was rare for them to eat such good food, so they immediately ate heartily. Zhao Yun could not help but think of Tian in the tiger's den and lost her appetite. Faced with a table full of good food, she only picked a little bit to eat. These dishes were chewed in her mouth like chewing wax, and she could not taste anything. The men ate and drank. It was the first time since they separated that they had a meal at the same table. Zhao Baoshan was suddenly filled with emotions. He was looking forward to seeing his family together and watching his family live in harmony. Now that they had separated and lived their own lives, he felt that they were not a family. The women ate faster and soon finished their food and left the table. The men continued to raise their wine glasses and drink happily together. There were still many dishes left on the table. Zhao Yun'er persuaded the ants to eat more. If they couldn't finish it, they would probably fall ill tonight. By tomorrow, these dishes would definitely be spoiled. Yun'er girl, we won't hold back either. This time, we really can't eat anymore even if our stomachs burst. If he could stomach it, he would definitely eat it. I have nothing to say about your craftsmanship. That's right, Yun'er girl, your cooking is too delicious. It tastes really good. It's just that you made too much. I reminded you not to make so much. You definitely won't be able to finish it. Zhao Yun'er smiled. I'm fine. Not being able to finish the meal was better than not having enough. If she didn't enjoy the meal to her heart's content, she would say that her family's hospitality wasn't good enough. Tell your uncles to stop eating and eat more. Men have big appetites, so they might be able to finish it, Qianzhouji said. As she spoke, she told the men to drink less and eat more. However, the men all liked wine. They would rather eat less than drink more. The wine that Zhao Yun'er bought tasted different from the wine that ordinary people in the village drank. It was good wine, so the men drank happily. Among the men, the one who drank the most was Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui had not drunk much wine in the past few days, so he was very greedy. He poured big bowls of wine into his stomach, and he was drunk. Chapter 1668. After being reprimanded by Zhao Baoshan, Zhao Wenshui lowered his head in fright and muttered, Dad, isn't it a joyous occasion for third younger brother's family today? I was so happy that I drank a little more. Zhao Baoshan snorted softly. How could his own son not know what kind of person he was? His mouth was more eloquent than anyone else, but in reality, that was not the case. Zhao Wenhua smiled and said, Dad, let second older brother drink a little more today. He doesn't usually have the chance to drink so much. Zhao Wenshui looked at Zhao Wenhua gratefully and nodded behind Zhao Wenhua. Dad, that's right. Third younger brother is right. Zhao Baoshan rolled his eyes at Zhao Wenshui. Right my ass. You gluttonous and lazy thing. Zhao Wenshui smiled embarrassedly and swallowed his saliva. He did not dare to look into Zhao Baoshan's eyes. Zhao Yun'er stood at the side and suddenly felt that Zhao Baoshan was a little cute. He liked to speak the truth and make people speechless. Hey, Zhao Wenshui suddenly shouted. Everyone at the table looked at Zhao Wenshui, thinking that something big had happened to Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui frowned and said faintly, I drank so much that I can't hold my pee. I'm going to pee. Everyone at the table was speechless. Did he need to say such things out loud? Couldn't he just go to pee secretly? They thought that something big was going on. Zhao Baoshan glared at Zhao Wenshui angrily. It's said that lazy people shit and pee a lot. It's true. Zhao Wenshui felt wronged. He was holding his pee because he drank too much. How could that have anything to do with laziness? Dad. Alright, Dad. Stop scolding second older brother. Second older brother, do you want me to send you to the toilet? You drank too much. Are you okay alone? Zhao Wenshui stood up and waved his hand. Of course. There's no need for you to send me off. I'll go by myself and be back soon. Second brother, can you really do it? Of course, I just drank some wine. What could happen? Zhao Wenshui said as he staggered out of the room. Old Zhao's family didn't think too much about it, and continued drinking at a table. At this time, Feng Zhangxia was defecating in the toilet. After eating so much all at once, his stomach was full, so he had some indigestion. Now he was in the latrine pit. However, after squatting for more than 10 minutes, he didn't manage to do anything. Ouch, Feng Zhangxia cried out softly. The pain was unbearable. If she had known earlier, she wouldn't have eaten so much. She wouldn't have had to suffer now. Unfortunately, there was no use in regretting. The pain would continue to hurt, and he didn't know when it would get better. Zhao Wenshui staggered to the latrine pit. When he opened the latrine door, he saw Feng Zhangxia's big white butt. His eyes immediately widened. Feng Zhangxia didn't seem to expect Zhao Wenshui to suddenly run over. She was shocked and hurriedly said to Zhao Wenshui, "Second younger brother, what are you doing? Why didn't you knock before coming in?" Feng Zhangxia's tone was reproachful. Zhao Wenshui drank too much, so his drunken mind was a lot muddled. He tugged at the corner of his mouth and smiled at Feng Zhangxia. "Sister-in-law, I didn't know you were inside, so I came in. I need to pee." Feng Zhangxia tugged at the corner of her mouth. Her expression was a little ugly. She urged him in disgust. "Then hurry up and leave. You can come in when I'm done." Chapter 1669. Feng Zhangxia couldn't help but complain. "Second brother, as a man, why do you have to pee in the latrine pit? Why don't you just find a bush and make do with it?" Zhao Wenshui said drunkenly. "How can I do that? How can I make do with this kind of thing? Why can't I do it? Second brother, hurry up and get out. What if others see it?" Feng Zhangxia was even more impatient as she drove him away. If others knew that her sister-in-law's brother-in-law had seen her buttocks, they would definitely laugh at her. It wouldn't be a big deal, but it might be spread. She was someone who cared about her reputation and didn't want to hear any bad rumors about her. "Sister-in-law, your buttocks are so white, much whiter than my wife's." Zhao Wenshui's eyes were fixed on Feng Zhangxia's buttocks. Feng Zhangxia saw that Zhao Wenshui had no intention of leaving, and Zhao Wenshui's words. She was so scared that she quickly pulled up her pants. What are you talking about? Shameless. Bah." With that, Feng Zhangxia spat on the ground. Even if her stomach hurt, she didn't want to stay in the latrine pit. At this time, the drunk Zhao Wenshui really made people feel that he was dangerous. However, when Feng Zhangxia wanted to leave, Zhao Wenshui made it difficult for her to leave. Feng Zhangxia was so scared that her heart suddenly tightened. She frowned and questioned Zhao Wenshui angrily. "Second brother, what do you want to do?" Zhao Wenshui burped, and his breath smelled of alcohol. Then he smiled at Feng Zhangxia wretchedly and said, "Sister-in-law, your buttocks are so white. Let me touch them. Let me see if they are white and smooth." After hearing Zhao Wenshui's words, Feng Zhangxia was sure that Zhao Wenshui was really drunk and probably didn't know what he was talking about. How could a normal person say these things? He made it sound like a hooligan. Could Zhao Wenshui not tell who she was? She was his sister-in-law. Of all the people he could flirt with, he had to flirt with his sister-in-law. "I say, second brother, have you drunk too much? What nonsense are you talking about? Get out of my way, I'm leaving," Feng Zhangxia said as she nudged Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui had no intention of moving away and continued to pester Feng Zhangxia. Feng Zhangxia's arm was grabbed by Zhao Wenshui, and she couldn't escape at all. What are you trying to do? Hurry up and let me go, or I'll call for help," Feng Zhangxia threatened. Zhao Wenshui was drunk and did not know what fear was. He grinned and replied, "Hee sister-in-law, I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to touch your butt to see how it feels and whether it's white and smooth. Let me touch you, and I'll let you go once you're done." Zhao Wenshui's hooligan behavior scared Feng Zhangxia. This second brother really wanted to touch her butt. Her butt was for her man to touch, not Zhao Wenshui. Feng Zhangxia spat on Zhao Wenshui's face. "If you want to touch someone's butt, go touch your own wife. Why are you touching me?" Zhao Wenshui was slightly taken aback. Then he wiped his face with his hand and sniffed. Sister-in-law, your saliva smells better than my wife's. My wife has already touched your butt, and it's boring. Seeing that your butt is so white, I wanted to touch it and feel it. Feng Zhangxia wanted to punch Zhao Wenshui when she saw the vulgar smile on his face. Chapter 1670. Feng Zhangxia widened her eyes and threatened Zhao Wenshui. You shameless thing, you're talking nonsense. If you dare to touch me, I'll ask your brother to chop off your hand. Let's see if you still dare to do that. Zhao Wenshui rolled his eyes and seemed to be thinking about Feng Zhangxia's words. Sister-in-law, my brother and I are brothers. What's wrong with letting me touch his wife? You, Feng Zhangxia was speechless. Zhao Wenshui actually said such shameless words. She was helpless. It was useless to reason with him. You let me do it. Feng Zhangxia tried to push Zhao Wenshui again. Zhao Wenshui drank too much and fell to the ground, unable to get up. Feng Zhangxia took this opportunity to run out of the latrine pit. She ran all the way to Zhao Yin's house and sighed in relief. Seeing that Zhao Wenshui didn't chase after her, it meant that there was no danger. However, Feng Zhangxia's face was pale with fright. She couldn't calm down after what had just happened. When her sisters-in-law saw her, they couldn't help but ask, Sister-in-law, what's wrong with you? Why do you look so pale? Did something happen to you when you ran in so hurriedly? The corner of Feng Zhangxia's mouth twitched. Nothing. She couldn't say anything. Otherwise, if her sisters-in-law heard what Zhao Wenshui said, they might misunderstand. She didn't want to be wronged like Widow Qian and be framed for seducing Zhao Wenshui. But sister-in-law, you're still in shock. You seem to have encountered something big. Qian Zurio came forward and asked with concern. Feng Zhangxia knew that if she said nothing was wrong, her sisters-in-law wouldn't believe her. Feng Zhangxia thought quickly and casually made up an excuse. It's really nothing. I just went out, and it was a little dark outside. I think I saw a ghost. I don't know if my eyes were playing tricks on me. Hearing Feng Zhangxia mention ghost shadow, a few timid sisters-in-law were a little scared. The ancient people believed in Buddha and God, and they believed in the existence of ghosts. To them, they were more afraid of ghosts and gods. Qian Zhouzhan's heart suddenly tightened, and she asked with some fear. No way, sister-in-law, are you seeing things? If there really are ghosts, will we run into them later? After they finished eating, they still had to go back to old Zhao's house from Zhao Yun'er's house. They had to take the dark road. What if they met a ghost? Just thinking about it made his hair stand on end. He was terrified. Feng Zhangxia shook her head. I'm not sure either. Maybe I'm seeing things. Qian Zhui patted her chest and muttered. Sister-in-law, you better be wrong. Don't touch those filthy things. Otherwise, if they really entangle you, you might even lose your life. Feng Zhangxia answered with a guilty conscience. She felt that this lie was too ridiculous. She was afraid that she would be exposed. Li Chuiying said in all seriousness, speaking of which, it's not impossible to run into filthy things. Third sister-in-law's house was built at the foot of the mountain. Human bones were buried here before, so it's normal for ghosts to appear. Chapter 1671. After Li Chuiying finished speaking, the sisters-in-law suddenly felt a chill in their hearts. Zhao Yun'er's house was indeed at the foot of the mountain. There were not many people there, so it looked a little gloomy and desolate. Especially at night, the silence was scary. Liang Jinxiao's face showed a trace of fear, and her voice trembled. Second sister-in-law, don't scare me. I'm not scaring you. I'm just reminding you. It's really dangerous at night. It's always good to be careful. Sigh, now that you mention it, I'm a little scared to sleep at night. Liang Jinxiao clutched her chest and said. She believed in ghosts and gods, so she felt scared. If she didn't believe in ghosts, she naturally wouldn't feel scared. When Feng Zhangxia saw that her casual words had scared Liang Jinxiao, she felt a little apologetic. She pursed her lips and comforted Liang Jinxiao. Third sister-in-law, you don't have to be too scared. It's hard to say. A few people really encountered ghosts. If you're really scared, ask Yun'er to go to Yang City and buy a pair of door gods. Put them on the door and you'll be fine. Liang Jinxiao felt that Feng Zhangxia's suggestion was good and nodded in agreement. Eldest sister-in-law, you're right. It's best to ask Yun'er to buy a pair of door gods and put them on the door. That way we'll feel more at ease. We adults are fine, but children can't be scared. It'll be troublesome if Daoda's soul is scared out of his wits. Okay. As the sisters-in-law chatted, the men at the table drank a few more glasses of wine. Seeing that Zhao Wenshui had not returned, Zhao Wentao asked worriedly, "Did something happen to second brother in the latrine? Does it take him so long to pee? He's not back yet." When the others heard Zhao Wentao's words, they realized that Zhao Wenshui had indeed been in the latrine for a long time. Second brother drank too much. Could it be that he couldn't walk properly and fell? I'll hurry over and take a look. Zhao Wenhua said. Third brother, I'm going too. Let's go together. Zhao Baoshan nodded and said to Zhao Wentao and Zhao Wenhua, Go, go. That lazy bum. I think he fell asleep in the toilet. When Zhao Wentao and Zhao Wenhua arrived at the latrine pit, they found that it was just as Zhao Baoshan had said. Zhao Wenshui lay down in the corner of the latrine pit, snoring loudly. Zhao Yunlong and Zhao Wentao looked at each other, somewhat shocked by the scene in front of them. Second brother really fell asleep in the latrine. Father was right. Father knows second brother best. Yes, second brother probably drank too much and fell asleep as soon as he fell on the ground. Let's quickly help him up and send him back. How can someone sleep in the latrine? All right. The two brothers each took one side of Zhao Wenshui and carried Zhao Wenshui in the middle. It was a little difficult for them to walk while supporting him. Zhao Wenshui's entire body was on top of the two brothers. It was very heavy. It was unknown if Zhao Wentao and Zhao Wenhua had moved Zhao Wenshui, but Zhao Wenshui began to mutter. Sister-in-law, your butt is so white and smooth. It feels so good to touch. Hee, you didn't let me touch it. Now I can touch it. Sister-in-law, let me touch it again. Your butt is much more comfortable than my wife's. Sister-in-law, don't be afraid. It's fine if Big Brother finds out. Big Brother and I are brothers. We share blessings and misfortunes. What's wrong with letting me touch his wife's butt? Sister-in-law. Chapter 1672. The two brothers were shocked. They never expected Zhao Wenshui to say something like that. Zhao Wentao asked Zhao Wenhua uncertainly, Brother Yulin, did you hear that? Is second brother talking about sister-in-law? Zhao Wenhua nodded. Yeah, I heard that. Zhao Wentao opened his mouth. Brother Yulin, did second brother really touch sister-in-law's butt? How could he do something like that? This, Zhao Yunlong frowned, and there was a hint of worry in his deep feelings. This matter is hard to say. Perhaps second brother is drunk and is talking nonsense now. Zhao Wentao nodded. He felt that Zhao Wenhua's guess was more likely. Yeah, second brother is very drunk right now and is talking nonsense. There was still some worry between Zhao Yunlong's brows. But then again, second brother can't be like this. Regardless of whether second brother is talking nonsense or not, if big brother hears this, second brother will definitely be beaten up. Zhao Wentao replied, Yeah, anyone would get angry if they heard that. Second brother is really muddle-headed. Sigh. Let's hurry up and wake second brother up. Otherwise, if big brother hears him spouting nonsense again, our family will be in trouble tonight. Yeah, we have to wake second brother up. The two brothers quickly patted Zhao Wenshui's cheeks. Second brother, wake up. Second brother, stop sleeping. Wake up. Hurry up and wake up. Drink. I still want to drink. Don't stop me. Zhao Wenshui mumbled. He was so drunk that he didn't seem like he was going to wake up anytime soon. Brother Yulin, it's useless. We can't wake second brother up. Why don't we punch him to wake him up? Zhao Wenhua asked tentatively. Is that okay? Will second brother be angry? Will he tell us that we'll beat him up later? Zhao Wentao was a little hesitant. He didn't dare to make this decision easily. Zhao Wenhua sighed. There's no other way. If we don't wake second brother up, big brother will beat him up. It won't be a matter of one punch. Let's explain it to him later. Second brother should be able to understand us. Zhao Wentao hesitated for a moment. All right then. Third brother, should I do it or should you? Let me. Zhao Wenhua raised his fist and punched Zhao Wentao in the face. Ah! Zhao Wenhua screamed in pain and woke up immediately. Following this, he covered his face and said, Ouch, it hurts so much. It hurts so much. Third brother, why did you hit me? My face is swollen because of you. Second brother. You were talking nonsense when you fell asleep in the latrine. Zhao Wenhua explained. Zhao Wenshui didn't believe it. He felt that it was an excuse for Zhao Wenhua to beat him up. Nonsense? What nonsense am I spouting? Third brother. Explain it to me clearly. Zhao Wenhua hesitated for a moment. How could he say what Zhao Wenshui said just now? Third brother, why aren't you saying anything? Did you lie to me on purpose because I didn't say anything? Did you just want to punch me? Zhao Wenhua hurriedly waved his hand. If he didn't explain it clearly, his second brother would misunderstand him. With a red face, Zhao Wenhua repeated what Zhao Wenshui said just now. That. Second brother. You said that sister-in-law's, but was white and smooth. It felt good to touch. Zhao Wenshui opened his mouth and recalled what happened before he fell asleep. He had chased after Feng Zhangxia and wanted to touch her butt. Feng Zhangxia's white, but was still deeply imprinted in his mind. Chapter 1673. Zhao Wenhua nodded heavily and said, Yes, second brother. That's what you said. I'm not lying to you. Zhao Wenshui frowned and thought to himself, this is bad. If Zhao Wenhua and Zhao Wentao heard what he said, it would be terrible. If his eldest brother heard about it, his legs would be broken. Zhao Wenshui frowned. Zhao Wentao and Zhao Wenhua thought that Zhao Wenshui did not believe him. Second brother, third brother is telling the truth. I heard it too. That's what you said. Zhao Wentao confirmed. It can't be. You must have heard wrongly. Don't talk nonsense. If anything happens later, it'll be your fault. Zhao Wenshui and Zhao Wenhua were helpless. They were not talking nonsense. They were telling the truth. Second brother, since you're awake now, don't let it slip in front of Big Brother later. It's fine if we hear it, but if Big Brother hears it, he might get angry. I know. Zhao Wenshui answered impatiently. The three of them walked towards Zhao Yiner's house. As soon as Zhao Wenshui entered the house, he met Zhao Baoshan's disdainful eyes. Second brother, did you fall into a cesspool or something? Zhao Wenshui smiled embarrassedly. Father, what are you talking about? If I fell into a cesspool, I would be smelly now. Zhao Wenhua explained. Father, second brother drank too much and fell asleep in the cesspool. You guessed it right. Zhao Baoshan rolled his eyes. The more he looked at Zhao Wenshui, the more disdainful he became. He was speechless when he thought that Zhao Wenshui really fell asleep in the cesspool. If you're drunk, then don't drink anymore. Look at what you've become. Fortunately, you're at home. If you were anywhere else, you'd be a laughing stock. Zhao Wenshui could only lower his head and let Zhao Baoshan scold him without daring to talk back. He knew that if he dared to talk back, Zhao Baoshan would continue to nag him. Dad, don't say any more. Second brother drank too much today. He definitely won't do it again. Zhao Wenhua mediated. Zhao Baoshan snorted and didn't say anything else. Zhao Wenshui breathed a sigh of relief. When he walked over to the table, he caught a glimpse of Feng Zhangxia. Thinking of what he had just done, Zhao Wenshui felt guilty and couldn't help but look at Feng Zhangxia. He didn't know if his sister-in-law would tell his elder brother about this. If his elder brother knew about it, he didn't dare to imagine the consequences. However, Feng Zhangxia felt that Zhao Wenshui was looking at her and had some dirty thoughts. She couldn't help but frown. Her second brother was too much. It was fine if he went out to find other women, but he actually had ideas about her. Was she someone he could covet? No. No matter what, she couldn't be targeted by Zhao Wenshui. She had to teach Zhao Wenshui a lesson later and see if he still dared to do it. Sister-in-law, what's wrong? Seeing that Liang Jinxiao was suddenly lost in thought, Qian Hongzhe patted Feng Zhangxia a few times. No, nothing. Feng Zhangxia came back to her senses and replied weakly. She didn't look good. At the dining table, the men continued to drink wine. However, Zhao Yiner had made too much food. The men ate until their stomachs burst, but there was still a lot left. Chapter 1674. Zhao Baoshan pointed at the leftover dishes on the table with a look of pity in his eyes. It's okay. It's fine if we can't finish it. It's better than not having enough. It's not easy to make a meal, so we have to make it more sumptuous, Zhao Yiner said indifferently. She wouldn't feel bad about such a small amount of food. There were so many people who didn't want to keep leftovers. When the men drank, a lot of wine dripped into the dishes. Even if the dishes didn't go bad overnight, she couldn't eat them. Sigh. Zhao Baoshan sighed and felt a little sorry for her. Dad, I can't eat anymore. You guys continue. Zhao Wenhua called out. Zhao Wentao and Zhao Wensher also waved their hands. I can't drink anymore either. I'm too full. Among the men at the table, only Zhao Wenshui was still eating. He ate with gusto and relished in the food. Zhao Baoshan glanced at Zhao Wenshui. He couldn't understand. Zhao Wenshui ate the most tonight. Why was he the only one who could still eat when everyone else was full? Wenshui, aren't you full? Why are you still eating? Zhao Baoshan asked casually. Zhao Wenshui was burying his head in eating. When he heard Zhao Baoshan's words, he raised his head and replied nervously. I'm fine. Zhao Wenshui was afraid that Zhao Baoshan wouldn't let him eat anymore. So he was a little worried. It would be a waste if he didn't finish this table of good food. He finally had a good meal. If he ate today, he wouldn't be able to eat anything good tomorrow, the day after, and for a period of time in the future. Therefore, it was a profit to eat as much as he could. Is that so? Zhao Baoshan's eyes revealed a trace of shock. How big was his second brother's belly? After drinking so much wine and eating so many dishes, he could still continue eating. Zhao Wenshui replied angrily, Yes. Father, I didn't eat too much. I just drank too much wine. I went to the latrine just now and peed. If you don't believe me, you can go and have a try. After peeing, your stomach will be empty, and you can continue eating. The men at the table looked at Zhao Wenshui speechlessly. It was really admirable that he could say such vulgar words while eating. Father, there are so many dishes, it would be a waste not to eat them. I'm just helping third brother's family eat more. Zhao Wenshui's mouth twitched as he spoke. Yes. Zhao Baoshan rolled his eyes. Delicious was delicious. Why did he have to come up with so many excuses? Second brother, I think it's better if you eat all the dishes on the table. I can't eat so much. I'll just pick some that I like. Hee. Zhao Wenshui smiled and quickly picked out the shredded meat from the stir-fried dishes. After a while, Zhao Wenshui finished most of the leftovers on the table. Zhao Wenshui didn't stop until he couldn't eat anymore. Okay. Father, are we going back after eating? Zhao Wenshui rubbed his hands and said. Zhao Baoshan responded. It was late. They had eaten for more than 2 hours. It was completely dark outside. Let's go. Third brother. And the others have to rest well tonight. They're tired from moving. Father, take care. It's dark at night, and you can't see the road clearly. Help each other. Got it. Old Zhao's family said and left Zhao Yiner's house one after another. After these people left, the house fell into silence. Chapter 1675. Mother, it's so late. Let's wash up tomorrow morning. It's so dark. What if we bump into something? Everyone is tired today. Now that it's dark, it's better to go back to the house and sleep. Liang Jinxiao nodded. It was indeed too tiring today. Everyone needed to rest early. When she was chatting with her sisters-in-law just now, she kept yawning and was very sleepy. Alright, then let's wash up tomorrow morning. I remember that there's not much water in our water tank. We have to carry water again tomorrow. Speaking of carrying water, the house was moved to the foot of the mountain. The disadvantage was that it was too far from the river. After carrying water a few times, they would probably be tired. They could only carry 2 buckets of water per trip, which would be used up in a while. It was fine for a day or two, but it was not a solution in the long run. Mother, I think we should dig a well in the yard. It's convenient to use water later. Moreover, Mulan's family can use it with us later. It'll save them the trouble of carrying water. Zhao Yiner suggested to Liang Jinxiao when she thought of the convenience of digging a well. Liang Jinxiao nodded. That's fine. Ask your father to find a few people later. We don't have to carry water in the future. We can wash clothes and vegetables directly at home. Zhao Yiner agreed. There were not many families in the village who had wells. Digging a well would cost 1 tael of silver. After all, there were no drilling tools in ancient times. They could only dig by hand, which would take half a month. Adding in the cost of labor and other expenses, it would cost so much money. Ordinary families would not be willing to spend so much money. There were not many families who had wells. After the family washed up, Zhao Yin'er fell asleep as soon as she got on the bed. After putting a quilt on the new mattress, it was much more comfortable to sleep on than the small heatable brick bed at home. The bed was very big. The family of 3 did not feel crowded when they slept on it. Instead, it was very spacious. It felt like she was sleeping on a 21st century bed. It was more comfortable. The next morning, when Zhao Yin'er woke up, Liang Jingxiao had already cleaned up the bowls and chopsticks from last night. Zhao Yin'er couldn't help but ask, "Mother, why are you so busy? You didn't even greet me." Liang Jingxiao smiled softly and said, "Haha, it's okay. There aren't too many bowls and chopsticks. It's not tiring to be busy. Mother saw that you were sleeping soundly, so how could I wake you up? You were too tired yesterday." Zhao Yin'er sighed helplessly. Her cheap mother was like this. She liked to take on all the work herself. After breakfast, Zhao Yin'er went to Mulan's house. Yesterday, Zhao Yin'er's family was busy moving, but Mulan didn't move. Instead, she moved today. Mulan's family had more things than Zhao Yin'er's family, but Mulan's family had a lot of people. Her brother Zhao Tianan was not stupid. He took the initiative to help Mulan move. Zhao Yin'er knew that Zhao Tianan was so diligent because of Mu Hin. Early in the morning, after Mulan's family finished breakfast, they started to tidy up the house. They usually didn't pay attention to the big and small things, but when they really moved, they felt that there were a lot of things. It was originally a happy occasion, but the Mu family's generosity and old lady Mu felt uncomfortable no matter how they looked at it. They felt uncomfortable because they felt that Mulan's family lived in a big house, a good house, while their family had to huddle in a shabby thatched hut. There was a saying that there was no harm without comparison. If others lived a hard life like you wouldn't feel uncomfortable. If others lived better than you would feel sad and uncomfortable. Chapter 1676. If you knew, you wouldn't have split up in the first place. Now I know why you made such a fuss. Wasn't it because you despised me for being an old woman? Now that you're living a good life, you don't even bring me along. I really raised a son for nothing. He's so unfilial." After Mrs. Zhu finished speaking, Madame Qi added, "That's right, mother. Although we've split up, you're still second brother's mother. No matter what, you have to take care of your own mother. How can second brother not bring you along when he's living in a big house?" Mrs. Zhu snorted softly. If only he had the heart. Why did God let me give birth to such a heartless son? I raised him for nothing all these years. That's right, mother. Our Dania wouldn't treat you like this. Speaking of which, Daniu is still the best. Daniu is filial. Mrs. Zhu and Madame Qi echoed each other, and deliberately said these words to make Zhao Yin'er feel uncomfortable. However, these two people were just talking. Although Mulan and Zhu Eru felt a little uncomfortable, they ignored Mrs. Zhu. Mrs. Zhu knew very well why they didn't bring Mrs. Zhu along when they were living in a big house. Zhu Eru knew how to be filial, and he knew how to dote on his child and wife. He remembered how his mother had treated Mulan and Huar back then. In order to prevent Mulan and their child from being bullied, he could only treat his mother coldly. Seeing that Zhu Eru was moving all of a sudden, Zhu Daniu also felt uncomfortable. They were both brothers. How could he be happy that his younger brother was living a better life than him? Later on, others would say that he, the older brother, was not as capable as the younger brother. Zhu Daniu's eyes turned. He leaned in front of Zhu Eru and said to him, "Second brother, you're going to live in a big house. You don't want your house anymore, right?" Zhu Eru wasn't sure if he wanted it. Although it was useless now, what if he needed it in the future? He then replied to Zhu Daniu, "Big brother, why are you asking this?" Zhu Daniu smiled and said, "Didn't I find a job for third brother?" Third brother had already accepted more than a dozen people in the village to teach children how to read and write. Seeing that he was about to be taught, he had to find a place. The other houses are all occupied. Your house is just right for third brother to use. When Zhu Eru heard this, he fell into deep thought. He had heard of this before, but he didn't know how his big brother came up with this idea. With his third brother's character, if he were to teach, he might even ruin the child. But it was hard for him to say. Compared to Zhu Sanlu staying at home and not doing anything, finding such a job for Zhu Sanlu was indeed a good idea. Zhu Eru replied, "All right then, big brother. I'll leave the room to third brother." "That's good." Zhu Dania felt much better. Now that the place was bigger, he could take in a few more children. Relying on this, they could make a lot of money. When they accumulated more money, they could also build a big house. At that time, they wouldn't have to envy the second branch. If they built a big house, their lives would be as comfortable as the second branch. It was useless to be jealous of the second branch now. If they had the time, they might as well think about how to earn more money. Zhu Daniu was still very confident about making a fortune by letting Zhu Sanlu teach children how to read and write. Chapter 1677. When it was close to noon, Mulan's family had finally finished moving and were preparing to rest and prepare some food for a good meal. Unexpectedly, Mulan's maternal family came. It was Mu Dade, Old Lady Mu, and Mulan's stepmother Luo Tsuyu. The three of them walked over. Mu Dade and Old Lady Mu were fine and did not feel tired after walking for a few miles. However, Luo Tsuyu was fat and could not stand the torment. When she reached Mulan's house, she was so tired that she could barely breathe. When Old Lady Mu reached the family Zhu's courtyard, she shouted at the top of her lungs, "Last Laner, come out! Come out!" Mulan came out of the house with a frown. She was about to tidy up some small things in the kitchen and move them to the new house when the Mu family came. She frowned in displeasure and asked Old Lady Mu and Mu Dade, "Grandma, Dad, what are you doing here?" Old Lady Mu snorted, "What's wrong? We can't come? Have you forgotten who gave birth to you and raised you? Why are you complaining when your maternal family comes?" Mulan's mouth twitched. "Why are you here for no reason? Why didn't you come here before?" Needless to say, they must be up to no good. The past is the past. The present is the present. What's wrong with coming here now? Lass, how can you say that? You're so infuriating. Old Lady Mu spat on the ground and glared at Mulan. Mulan rolled her eyes and said mildly, "Grandma, Dad, just tell me what you're here for. You don't have to beat around the bush." Mu Dade smiled embarrassedly. "Lass Laner, it's really nothing. Your grandma just wanted to see you. See how you're doing now." Mu Dade's smile was filled with guilt, and he did not dare to look into Mulan's eyes. Old Lady Mu put her hands on her hips and said, "Yes, we're here to see how you're doing now. I heard that your family built a new house. Is this true? A new house? Why didn't you bring me and your father to have a look?" Mulan was too lazy to pay attention to Old Lady Mu and Mu Dade. She knew that they were up to no good. "Hey, you're Mulan's grandmother? I'm Mulan's sister-in-law." "You're right. My second sister-in-law's family is living a good life now. They did build a new house and just moved in today. The new house is made of bricks and tiles. It's magnificent. It's much better than our family Zhu's current thatched hut." When Madame Chi saw that the Mu family was here to pick a fight, she immediately ran to the front of the Mu family and fanned the flames behind them. She could not wait to stir up more waves. Sure enough, when Old Lady Mu heard this, she said to Mulan, "You really built a new house. You didn't even tell your family about such a big thing. Lass, you're looking down on your family more and more. Don't you know who gave birth to you and raised you?" Mulan was speechless. It was precisely because they were her family that she felt even more embarrassed. Madame Chi watched the show with a smug expression. Her second sister-in-law's life had been too smooth recently, so she had to find trouble for her and make her take a gamble. Chapter 1678. Little girl, what are you talking about? What do you mean it has nothing to do with us? Are you really rich and capable? You don't care about your family anymore? Let me tell you, no matter what, you have to take us to your new house to take a look. Since your family is doing so well, and your father didn't raise you easily, hurry up and take out some money to show filial piety to your father. Otherwise, we won't leave today. Old Madame Mu stood in Mulan's courtyard with the intention of causing trouble. If she didn't get some benefits from her today, she probably wouldn't let it go. "What are you doing?" Mulan asked coldly. Why are you asking me for money? Why should I give it to you? Because you are a member of the Mu family. Your father gave birth to you and raised you, so you have to be filial. Old Madame Mu's attitude was very tough. Mulan was fuming with anger. Last time they made a scene on the street. This time they came directly to her house. They refused to leave, and she was the one who was annoyed. For the first time, she felt that her family was so thick-skinned. If you don't want to leave, then I won't leave. Just stay here. Mulan turned around angrily and left with the wooden bucket. Old Madame Mu was stunned and quickly caught up with Mulan. What are you doing? Where are you going? Mulan flung Old Lady Mu's hand away. Why do you care where I'm going or what I'm doing? Just wait here. Old Madame Mu was furious. This damned girl. She was determined not to give them any benefits. You damned girl, stop right there, you're not allowed to leave. Mulan ignored her. Old Madame Mu went forward and grabbed Mulan's arm. Mulan wasn't easy to bully. She pushed Old Madame Mu out. Old Madame Mu lost her balance and knocked on a stone beside her. Her forehead immediately bled. She didn't know if it was because Old Madame Mu knocked too hard, but the blood on her head didn't stop flowing and kept flowing out. When Mu Dade saw this, he immediately panicked. He rushed to Old Lady Mu and helped her up. He asked Old Lady Mu, Mother, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Is it serious? Old Madame Mu cried out in pain. I can't, it hurts so much. My head almost broke. As she cried out, Old Madame Mu reached out and touched her forehead. She touched it was bleeding. Seeing the blood, Old Madame Mu felt that it was a psychological effect. Her forehead, I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding, I'm not dying, right? Mu Dade hurriedly comforted her. It's all right, Mother. She definitely won't die. Mother, hold on. I'll get you a doctor to check on you. Mulan turned around and glanced at Old Lady Mu. She originally thought that Old Lady Mu was faking it, but after taking a look, she realized that there was indeed a large wound on Old Lady Mu's forehead. Blood was flowing out, and there was a faint smell of blood in the air. Look, you're bleeding so much. What if something big happens? Mulan hesitated. She thought that if something happened to Old Madame Mu, she would be in trouble. She didn't want to be so heavy-handed. She just accidentally let Old Madame Mu touch her. Okay, I'll go now, Mulan answered. It was best to get a doctor to see her, in order to prevent her from dying. Chapter 1679. Old Lady Mu muttered. How would I know that this damned girl would be so ruthless? She actually hit me. She's really angering me to death. AI. Mother, there's no point in saying this now. Your head needs to be treated quickly. You've lost so much blood all of a sudden. Your body will definitely be very weak when you return. You have to properly recuperate when you get home. Otherwise, your blood won't come back up. Mu Dade said with concern. No matter how bad Old Lady Mu was, she was still his mother. Luo Tsueyu, who had been watching from the side, rolled her eyes as if she had thought of something. She ran over to Old Lady Mu and pretended to be concerned as she asked, Mother, how are you? Does it hurt a lot? Didn't you see such a big wound? Of course it hurts. I'll hit you, you'll know once you try. Luo Tsueyu gave a fawning smile. Mother, I don't have any other intentions. I'm just concerned about you. Mother, you're too pitiful. I think that Lana girl is too much. This is her fault. How can a junior hit an elder like this? That's right. Mother, I remember that our Dezhou country's laws say that if a descendant hits an elder, it's considered unfilial, and they'll have to go to jail. It's fine if it's a small injury, but with such a serious injury on your forehead, you can definitely go to the government and sue her. Reminded by Luo Tsueyu, Old Lady Mu nodded and said, Indeed, I'll go to the government and sue this girl for treating me like this. Mu Dade mediated. Mother, Lana girl didn't do it on purpose. How can a family be so calculative? I think we should just forget about this matter. Old Lady Mu glared at Mu Dade in displeasure. Forget it. How can we forget about this matter? I say, Dade, is there something wrong with your head? Lana girl clearly pushed me on purpose. Mu Dade was scolded into silence. Luo Tsueyu continued. Mother, actually letting Lana girl off this time isn't a big deal. I think Mother, you can use this matter to threaten Lon or girl, and make her give you more money as compensation. Isn't it better to spend some money on you than to let her go to jail and suffer a jail sentence? Old Lady Mu was suddenly enlightened by Luo Tsueyu. Why didn't she think of this? Old Lady Mu hurriedly praised Luo Tsueyu. My dear wife, your brain is still the best. Mother is old. My brain is not as bright as before. Luo Tsueyu smiled. Mother, that's not true. No matter how I compare, I can't compare to Mother. Old Lady Mu calculated in her heart. This wretched girl. She hurt me so badly. I definitely can't let her off easily. I have to make her compensate me more money. I'm afraid that the injury on my head won't heal in a day or two. You won't be able to do anything at home. In my opinion, why don't I just stay at her house and let her serve me until the injury on my head is healed? All these years, I've been living in a small mud house. Now it's my turn to experience what it's like to live in a big house. Luo Tsueyu hurriedly followed behind and said, Yes, Mother, that's a good plan. Dade and I will stay with you and take care of you together. Yes, all three of us will stay. Mother, this won't do, right? Mu Dade felt that something was amiss. How could he trick Mulan like this? Chapter 1680. Mother. Mu Dade didn't know what to say. His mother was used to being domineering, so he basically listened to her in everything. All right, Dade, don't say any more. I'll make my own decision. After all, I'm the one who got hurt. Luo Tsueyu wiped her mouth and said, Sigh. Mu Dade had no choice but to stop talking. After a while, Mulan brought Dr. Sun over. Dr. Sun, this is my grandmother. Please take a look at her. Dr. Sun nodded and said, Okay. With that, Dr. Sun squatted in front of Old Lady Mu and checked her wound. This injury isn't light, but fortunately, it's just a little bit of blood. It's not a big deal. You just need to recuperate and eat something to replenish your blood. After hearing Dr. Sun's words, Mulan breathed a sigh of relief. It was fine as long as she didn't die. If Old Lady Mu died, then she would be charged with murder. This was a big crime that she couldn't bear. She couldn't implicate herself because of the shameless Mu family. It wasn't worth it. Mother, the doctor said you're fine. Mu Dade said. Old Lady Mu held her forehead and pretended to be in pain. Fine. How can I be fine? My head hurts a lot now. Lon, I'm telling you. You have to be responsible for what happened today. Otherwise, I'll go to the government and sue you for being unfilial and let you go to jail. Mulan frowned. Was Old Lady Mu threatening her? Compensation? What kind of compensation do you want? Mulan asked unhappily. Old Lady Mu rolled her eyes. I'm injured like this today. You have to compensate me with at least 10 taels of silver, right? I'll be staying at your house for a while. You should buy more food to replenish my blood and nourish my body. Mulan was furious when she heard Old Lady Mu's words. 10 taels of silver? Why don't you go and rob? You'd be faster if you did. You want to extort so much money from me? Are you asking for too much? Old Lady Mu was once again angered by Mulan. She angrily pointed at Mulan and said, You. Fine. You refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. If you don't give me the money, I'll go to the government office to sue you. You'll suffer later. Mulan smirked. Grandma, go ahead and sue me. Anyway, I can't take out so much money. Even if you force me to death, I can't take it out. Why don't I go to jail? Old Lady Mu was so angry that she couldn't speak. She originally wanted to use this to threaten Mulan, but Mulan didn't seem to care at all. So what was there to threaten? Glancing at Old Lady Mu on the ground, Mulan sneered and said, Father, I advise you to quickly bring grandmother back, or else I will continue to attack. Old Lady Mu scowled and scolded. What did you say? You still want to attack me? Mulan shrugged. Yes, I still want to take a knife and stab you a few more times. Anyway, you've already gone to the government office to sue me. I don't mind getting hurt more. If you suffer more, it'll be my gain. Old Lady Mu was intimidated by Mulan's cold gaze. Crazy. Dade, she's crazy. Mu Dade frowned. He looked at Mulan, then at Old Lady Mu, and advised, Mother, we'd better leave quickly, in case Last Lon really attacks. Who knows if she'll hurt you even more this time? Old Lady Mu's heart turned cold. Her forehead was already badly injured. If Mulan really continued to attack her, she would definitely lose her life. Chapter 1681. Old Lady Mu tugged at Mu Dade and said, "Go, go, go. Hurry up and take me away." "Okay, mother," Mu Dade said as he helped Old Lady Mu up from the ground. Luo Tsuyu also thought that Mulan had gone crazy. It was possible to discuss some things with normal people, but there was no room for discussion with a crazy person. What was the point of sacrificing their lives for a bit of money? Mulan's eyes flashed coldly as she watched the three of them flee in a fluster. Some people really couldn't be courteous with. The more courteous they were, the more insatiable they would be. On the contrary, if one's attitude was too strong, they wouldn't dare to say anything more. However, although the Mu family had left, the worry in Mulan's heart did not dissipate. She always felt that the Mu family was not so easy to deal with and might come back again. At that time, it would be another troublesome matter. Sigh. Mulan sighed, not knowing what to say. Mulan carried the wooden bucket somewhat dejectedly and continued to walk towards her big house. Fortunately, Muhin was not around, otherwise he would be worried with her. When old Madame Zhu saw Mulan's fierce behavior, she couldn't help but be speechless. Wasn't this Mulan too lawless? She could even do this to her own grandmother. Seeing Old Lady Mu's bleeding head, Mrs. Zhu was frightened. Thinking about how she usually spoke to Mulan like that, Mulan was still polite to her. Otherwise, wouldn't she end up like Old Lady Mu and end up in such a miserable state? How did our old Zhao family marry such a shrewish daughter-in-law? We are so unlucky. I'm so angry. Will she kill me one day too? Shrew, shrew. Mrs. Zhu stood in the courtyard and kept muttering. Madame Qi went up to Mrs. Zhu and said to Mrs. Zhu, "Mother, isn't that so? Second sister-in-law is too scary. Look at how ruthless she is. That woman is crazy. Sigh, it seems that I shouldn't provoke her, lest I get beaten up so badly." Thinking of Old Lady Mu's bloody head, Mrs. Zhu shuddered. On the other hand, Ma Xiaofeng was getting better after resting at home for a while. She was able to get up and walk around. Ma Xiaofeng stayed at home for a whole morning. Seeing that Ma Xiaoyu hadn't come back yet, she was a little anxious and went out to look for her. Something must have happened since she hadn't been home for such a long time. She only had one brother, so she could not let anything happen to Ma Xiaoyu. On the way out to look for Ma Xiaoyu, he happened to bump into the Mu family. Old Lady Mu kept on scolding along the way. "I say, babe, look at your two good daughters. Mulan is an unfilial one. Not only did she not give me money, she even hit me. Mu Xian is also disobedient. Everyone says that the parents' orders are the words of the matchmaker. She has to marry whoever she is arranged to marry." Mu Dade lowered his head and said, "Sigh, mother, don't say any more." Lan'er and Xaner had no choice. Old Lady Mu glared at Mu Dade. "You only know how to speak up for those two wretched girls. Dade, aren't you worried about mother? Look at the wound on my head. It's so infuriating." Luo Tsuyu agreed. "That's right, mother. I think Mulan is too much. She doesn't care about mother at all. We came here for nothing this time. We worked ourselves to death and walked a few miles to get here. But we didn't get anything." Chapter 1682. Mother, there's no other way. We just can't get it or fight for it. Let's just forget about it. What if the next time we come over like today, we'll suffer a huge loss? Luo Tsuyu thought about it and persuaded her mother. Even if the Mu family really made a fuss next time, she wouldn't come over. Walking back and forth twice was really tiring. She was so fat that she couldn't stand the torment at all. Now she was panting heavily after taking a few steps. "Wife, what you said makes sense, but I just can't accept it." She gave birth to a daughter, and the daughter only cared about her family. She saw that our Dade gave birth to her. Sure enough, a daughter shouldn't be raised. It's a waste of food. But I didn't see Muhin today. Mother, is Muhin at Mulan's house? Didn't you say that girl's temper is better than Mulan's? If we start with her, will it? Luo Tsuyu muttered. Old Lady Mu nodded. Muhin's temper is indeed much better, but she's staying at Mulan's house now. What can we get from her? We should start with Mulan. As they were talking, Ma Xiaofeng heard about Mulan and Mu Hin. She also sorted out the meaning of the Mu family's words. They wanted to get some benefits from Mulan and her sister. She immediately came up with a plan and went up to the Mu family. Are you Mulan and Mu Hin's family? Ma Xiaofeng asked. Old Lady Mu glanced at Ma Xiaofeng and asked, Who are you? Ma Xiaofeng smiled and introduced herself. I'm from this village. I heard you talking about them just now, so I wanted to have a chat with you. What do you want to talk about? What do we have to talk about with you? Old Lady Mu retorted in annoyance. Ma Xiaofeng smiled embarrassedly. There's really nothing to talk about with me, but after listening to your words, I just want to remind you that you actually have a way to get the money. Old Lady Mu pondered for a while and stared at Ma Xiaofeng. What way? Tell me. Ma Xiaofeng chuckled. Actually what? Haven't you heard? Mu Hin is getting married, and it's the richest family in our village. They've built more than 10 houses. They have as much money as they want. It was estimated that they would have to hold their wedding soon. Since you are her maiden family, could it be that she didn't discuss such a big matter with you? I think they'll give a lot. After Ma Xiaofeng finished speaking, Old Lady Mu's eyes lit up. Miss, are you telling the truth? You're not lying to us, are you? Ma Xiaofeng pursed her lips and smiled. Why would I lie to you? You can just ask around in the village, and you'll know. Old Lady Mu nodded and replied, That's true. You don't have to lie to us. After Old Lady Mu finished speaking, she turned to Mu Dade and said, Dade, did you hear that? Mu Hin's life is so good that she's going to marry into a rich family. These two girls are getting more and more out of hand. Don't tell me that Mu Hin's marriage doesn't need to be discussed with us? It's her parents' orders and her matchmaker's words. Even if we don't force her, we don't have to agree to who she wants to marry. If they want to take Mu Hin back, they have to give us a betrothal gift. Otherwise, we'll go and make a scene. This time, we can at least get some money back to live a good life. Chapter 1683. Mu Dade felt a little guilty towards Mu Hin after what happened last time. Now that Mu Hin had finally found a good family to marry, how could he have the nerve to continue causing trouble? Old Lady Mu did not think so. What's wrong with this? This is how it should be. Dade, you're Mu Hin's daughter. When your daughter gets married, shouldn't the groom discuss it with you? If the betrothal gifts aren't for you, are they going to be sent to Mulan? That wretched girl will benefit for nothing. Mu Dade frowned. He still felt that something was wrong. Mother. All right, I'll decide on this matter. Don't say anything else. In any case, we can't let those two girls benefit. Old Lady Mu said angrily. Today she had a big cut on her forehead. She had to heal it no matter what. Mother, if we really want to decide on this matter, let's go back today first. Your head injury is so serious. It's not good for us to go to someone's house. We'll come over and discuss it with the groom another day. What do you think? Old Lady Mu nodded. That's fine. My head feels like it's about to explode. I have to hurry back and rest and recuperate. Mu Dade heaved a sigh of relief. Coaxing Old Lady Mu back home was the most important thing for now. Before leaving, Old Lady Mu took Ma Xiaofeng's hand and said gratefully, Girl, thank you so much. Thank you for reminding us. Ma Xiaofeng smiled. Granny, you're too polite. I'm just reminding you that it's fine. You're so kind. Good people will be rewarded. Haha, it's okay. Then we'll leave first. Okay, take care. Ma Xiaofeng waved at the Mu family. Looking at the Mu family's departing figures, Ma Xiaofeng's lips curled into a smug and calculating smile. Looking at the Mu family's attitude, they must be greedy. She boasted that Zhao Yiner's family was rich and powerful, so the Mu family would naturally ask for more betrothal gifts. Previously, Zhao Tianan liked to recommend her, but because her mother asked for 50 taels of silver as a betrothal gift, Zhao Tianan gave up. Then he slowly hooked up with Mu Hin. If the Mu Hin family were to make a fuss now, they would need a lot of money. Then, Zhao Tianan might not be willing to marry Mu Hin. When that time came, wouldn't she have a chance? It would be best if there was some animosity between Mu Hin and Zhao Tianan. The more she thought about it, the more proud Ma Xiaofeng felt. She was too quick-witted. After going through so many things, She understood that she had to rely on herself to fight for many things. If you don't fight for it, no one will be willing to fight for you. In order to achieve his goal, he would do anything. As long as he succeeded in the end, what did it matter if others said a few words? Putting away the pride in her heart, Ma Xiaofeng remembered today's business. She still had to find her younger brother. After looking around the village, she finally found Ma Xiaoyu in the fields outside the village. Because there was nothing to eat at home, and Ma Xiaoyu was a child, she couldn't run to town or Yang City to buy food. So she went to the fields outside to dig for some wild vegetables. Children in the countryside could basically recognize some wild vegetables. Children from poor families were able to take care of the household early. Ma Xiaofeng and Ma Xiaoyu lost their father when they were young, so it was even more so. Ma Xiaoyu dug for wild vegetables the whole morning, and her basket was almost full. Just as she was about to carry the basket home, a few children suddenly ran in front of Ma Xiaoyu and pushed her into the rice field. Chapter 1684. Her face and hair were also covered in mud. She was filthy. Ma Xiaoyu did not cry. Instead, she got up from the paddy field and glared angrily at the children who had pushed her into the paddy field. "What are you doing? Why did you push me?" Ma Xiaoyu questioned. The children giggled and stuck their tongues out at Ma Xiaoyu. "What's wrong with pushing you? You're a child with no father to teach you. Hee, your mother and sister aren't good people, so you're not a good person either. My mother also said that your whole family is shameless. The old ones are bad, the young ones are bad too. You're a bad person, so we're here to teach you a lesson. Yes, we'll teach you a good lesson." The naughty brats humiliated Ma Xiaoyu, laughing as they spoke. Ma Xiaoyu's face darkened when she heard that. She said angrily to the children, No, it's not like what you said." "What do you mean it's not like what we said?" "That's what my father and mother said." "That's right. My parents said the same thing." Ma Xiaoyu pouted angrily and argued, "My mother and sister are not bad people. I'm not a bad person either. Don't talk nonsense. I'll beat you up if you keep talking." "Haha, you dare to beat us up? There are so many of us. Can't we beat you? Everyone beat him to death. He's a bad child. He wants to bully us." "Yes, beat him up." Ma Xiaoyu clenched her fists. When she saw the children rushing over, she also started fighting with them. However, he was only one person and was outnumbered. Soon, he was pinned to the ground and beaten by the children. When Ma Xiaofeng went over, she happened to see Ma Xiaoyu being beaten up. Seeing that Ma Xiaoyu's face was bruised and swollen, Ma Xiaofeng's heart tightened. She rushed over and pushed away the children who were surrounding Ma Xiaoyu. "What are you doing? Who told you to be so cruel at such a young age? Go back and look for your parents." Ma Xiaofeng reprimanded angrily. However, the children were used to being naughty. How could they be afraid of Ma Xiaofeng's threat? "So be it. We didn't hit the wrong person. Your whole family is bad people, so it's only right to beat you up. Yes, you should be her. My mother said that your family likes to seduce men. You shouldn't have stayed in the village." When Ma Xiaofeng heard this, she couldn't control her anger. "Fine. How dare you scold others and spout nonsense? If your parents don't educate you, I will help them educate you." As Ma Xiaofeng spoke, she rolled up her sleeves and prepared to beat him up. The kids were smart. They knew that Ma Xiaofeng was bigger than them, so they probably couldn't beat her. They all ran away like a gust of wind. Ma Xiaofeng couldn't catch up with them. After a while, the children who bullied Ma Xiaofeng ran away. Ma Xiaofeng didn't chase after them. However, she couldn't get rid of the anger in her heart. Thinking of the children's words, Ma Xiaofeng knew that the villagers were still talking behind their backs about what had happened to their family, especially the gossipy women. They liked to talk about other people's faults and made fun of them. Their family wouldn't be able to raise their heads in the village. Ma Xiaofeng felt like there was something pressing down on her heart. She felt like she couldn't breathe. Chapter 1685. Sob, 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 sob. Ma Xiaofeng rushed to Ma Xiaoyu when she saw her crying pitifully. She asked Ma Xiaoyu, "Xiaoyu, what's wrong? Are you in pain? Let me take a look." Ma Xiaoyu shook her head. "Sis, I'm fine. Then why are you crying? Sob, sob, sob. Sis, they're scolding me, you and Mom. I feel terrible when I hear that. Sob, 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 sis, they're too much. Ma Xiaofeng sighed when she heard that. How could she feel good about it? Ma Xiaofeng patted the back of Ma Xiaoyu's hand and said, Xiaoyu, let's not listen to what others say. It's fine as long as we know what we're like. Ma Xiaoyu answered in a voice as soft as a mosquito's. Ma Xiaofeng's heart ached when she saw her younger brother being bullied to this extent. She quickly comforted Ma Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu, let's bear with it a little longer. Trust me, I'll definitely lead you and Mom to a good life. I'll never let you be bullied again. Since they couldn't stay in the village any longer, she had to think of a way. If they had the money, they could move out of the village and live in Yang City or a town. No one would recognize them, and they wouldn't say such things again. She was fine with it, mainly because she couldn't accept it when she saw others bullying Ma Xiaofeng and her younger brother. Ma Xiaoyu was already exhausted from taking care of them as a young child. Now, she had to endure the bullying and scolding of the other children in the village. Sob, sob, sob. Ma Xiaoyu sobbed and wiped away the tears at the corners of her eyes. She looked very sad. Ma Xiaofeng tugged at Ma Xiaoyu's hand and said, All right, Xiaoyu, let's go. Let's go home. You're injured. I'll treat it for you. Also, your clothes are dirty. You'll have to change quickly. Ma Xiaoyu answered and tidied up the wild vegetables that she had dug. Ma Xiaofeng sighed. Although she wasn't the one who was injured this time, she felt even sadder. Mulan went to the house on the mountain. Seeing Mulan in a daze, Zhao Yinar went up to her and asked with concern, Sister-in-law Mulan, what's wrong? Mulan was slightly stunned. She snapped back to her senses and pursed her lips. It's nothing. It's obvious that you're lying. How can you say that it's nothing? Zhao Yinar glanced at Mu. She knew that when she was a liar, she would always blink her eyes listlessly. Mulan sighed and told him what had happened earlier. When Zhao Yinar heard that, she was very angry. The Mu family, what they doing? She was they. Now question mark. As she sympathized with Mulan's experience. At the same time, she agreed with what Mulan had done. Those people had to be taught a lesson when they came to cause trouble. Otherwise, they would not know their place and continue to cause trouble. Sister-in-law Mulan, tell me the next time they come. I'll use a knife to scare them. Let's see if they're still afraid of death. Zhao Yinar reminded Mulan. Yes, I know, Yinar, but I can't trouble you with this. I know how to deal with them myself. The only thing I'm worried about now is that my grandmother and the others will sue me to the authorities. Mulan sighed as she spoke. There was a trace of worry between her brows. Chapter 1686. I hope so. At that time, we can only count on the county deputy to make the decision. Okay. After Mulan's family moved, they began to prepare lunch. There were several rooms in the new house. The family lived in a very spacious house, much better than the previous one. Mulan and Zhu Eru shared a room. The children shared a room. Muhin shared a room. And there was also a living room. A kitchen. The foundation was very large. They could open up a vegetable garden in the front yard, or the back of the mountain. When they planted some vegetables, it would be much more convenient for the family to cook. The only inconvenient thing now was to get water. However, when the well in Zhao Yinar's house was built, it would be much more convenient for the two families to use the water in the well. It was okay to make do during this period of time. After moving to the new house, the happiest people were Mulan's children. They were used to living in a small house since they were young. Now that they suddenly lived in a big house, they were naturally very happy. Mom, our house is so big. Yes, Mom, our house is so good now. The room we live in is even bigger than the previous house. Mom, the house is so bright. It looks so good. Mom, our new house is so great. The bed is so big and comfortable. Hee, I like the new house so much. Seeing the happy faces of Dehua and Erhua, the sadness on Mulan's face faded a little. She smiled and said to Dehua, Erhua and San Air, it's good that you like it. In the future, our family will live in this big house. Hee, Mom, good. After lunch, We will pick some wildflowers back and decorate the house. Dehua said excitedly. Children liked flowers, especially Dehua and Erhua. Mulan smiled and nodded. Okay, then you go and pick them. But be careful. Don't get into trouble. Got it, Mom. Mulan smiled and moved the vegetables out of the house. For lunch, she prepared cold cucumber, braised eggplant and green pepper fried rice. In addition, she hadn't finished the salted meat that she learned from Zhao Yun'er. Usually, she couldn't bear to eat it. These things wouldn't spoil easily if they were placed in a cool place in the house. Therefore, there were still quite a few left. Mulan cut off a large piece of meat and prepared to stir-fry it with the garlic moss. It would taste even more fragrant and delicious. When moving today, Zhao Yun'er and Zhao Tianan both helped a lot. Mulan said to Zhao Yun'er and Zhao Tianan, Yun'er, Tianan, you must be tired from helping me move today. Why don't you have lunch at my house? I'll cook a few more dishes. Don't refuse. Zhao Yun'er said with a smile. Sister Mulan, I won't stand on ceremony with you, but I can't have lunch at your house today. I have to go back to cook. If you want to stay for lunch, just ask my brother Tianan to stay. Mulan didn't argue. She knew that Zhao Yun'er's meals were basically prepared by Zhao Yun'er, so she nodded and said, Okay, then you go back to work. Let Tianan stay for lunch. Haha, okay. At this time, Zhao Tianan and Mu Hin were together. Although the house was built, Mulan's yard wasn't ready. Mulan didn't plan to use bricks to fence it. Bricks were more expensive, and their family didn't have that much money. It was more practical to save the money to buy more food for the children. As for the yard wall, they might as well use a little fence to prevent small animals from entering. Chapter 1687. The two of them were about the same age and looked like a perfect match. Zhao Tianan was a little shy. His face and ears were slightly red as he chatted and laughed with Mu Hin. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but smile when she saw this. In fact, love at this age was very pure and beautiful. It was not easy for the two children to be together. Fortunately, Zhao Tianan didn't stubbornly stay with Ma Xiaofeng. Otherwise, she wouldn't know what to do. If their family married a lousy daughter-in-law like Ma Xiaofeng, it would be a disaster for the third branch. She would be the one who would be annoyed if things turned upside down later. Mulan laughed in Zhao Tianan's direction. Tianan, stay at my house for lunch today. Zhao Tianan smiled shyly. That's not very good, is it? What's wrong with that? It's a deal. You'll have lunch at my house today. Otherwise, I won't let you help me later. Zhao Wenan hesitated for a moment. That. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but laugh when she saw that her brother didn't take the bait. Tianan, just eat when you're allowed to. We'll be family in the future. Why are you being so polite? Mulan followed behind and replied, That's right. We'll be family in the future. Why are you being so polite now? Zhao Tianan lowered his head even more. He was too embarrassed to look at Mulan and Zhao Yun'er. Mu Hin covered her mouth and snickered at the side. Tianan, I think my sister and the others are right. You should stay and eat. Zhao Tianan nodded and replied, Okay. Zhao Yun'er and Mulan looked at each other. As expected, their words were not as good as Mu Hin's. Zhao Tianan listened more. Then sister-in-law Mulan, you go ahead. I'm going back to cook. Okay. Mulan replied. Zhao Yun'er walked a few steps and went back. In June, when the family's fields were busy, they often had to go to the fields to weed or water the fields. Previously, when Zhao Wenhua was busy building the house, her fourth uncle and his family were the ones taking care of the fields. Now that he was free, he naturally didn't want to continue troubling others. Early in the morning, Zhao Wenhua went to the fields to work. When she returned, she was tidying up the courtyard. Zhao Yun'er is also planning to make a fence wall for the yard at home. She will add some Chinese roses and morning glories. When the time comes, it will definitely look very beautiful. It will definitely be better than a brick wall. He just had to bring back more wooden sticks and tidy them up properly. She couldn't help much with this, so she had to trouble Zhao Wenhua. At noon, Zhao Yun'er casually made some food. Although there were no meat dishes, the taste was not bad. The family ate very comfortably. Now that they moved to a new house with a brick house and an attic, it was much cooler inside the house. They would think about how to get rid of the heat in the summer. Now that they lived on the first floor and were on the mountain, the nights were cooler, so it wasn't too hot. In the afternoon, many people began to send gifts and money to Zhao Yun'er's house, because Zhao Yun'er's family was building a house and holding a banquet. Zhao Yun'er discussed it with Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua. Both of them were more supportive of holding a banquet. Building a big house was a happy event. Since it was a happy event, it had to be celebrated. Although her family had held enough happy events this year, it didn't matter if there was one more. Zhao Yun'er followed the custom and didn't have any objections. Chapter 1688. Yes, that's natural. After Jing Er's wedding is over, it will be Tianhu's turn. Our old Zhao family's happy events really come one after another. Isn't that so? This year, our old Zhao family's luck is good. Happy events come one after another. We have received the old ancestor's blessing. Zhao Yun'er couldn't stand it. She had to bring the old ancestor into the picture again. She had to say that the old ancestor was blessing her. Okay, father, mother, I'm going to collect the gift money, Zhao Yun'er quickly said. Okay. The few people who came were from the village. They specially sent the gift money after Zhao Yun'er moved. They knew that Zhao Yun'er's family must have been busy moving yesterday. Zhao Yun'er smiled and took the gift money. At the same time, she prepared a book and took a brush to record it. She had to remember how many things the villagers sent. When other people's families had happy events, her family would have to return the gifts. The village was like this. After the people sent the gifts, they took a few glances at Zhao Yun'er's house. They sighed at Zhao Yun'er's new house and went back. After Dehua or Erhua, and Sana ran to pick wild flowers, they specially came to Zhao Yun'er's house. They held a large bouquet of flowers and handed it to Zhao Yun'er. Aunt Yun. Zhao Yun'er saw the children coming over and smiled. What's wrong? Aunt Yun, these are the wild flowers we picked. We sent some over for you. You can put them in your house. They look good. They're also a little fragrant. Zhao Yun'er glanced at the wild flowers in the children's hands. There were wild begonia and some unknown wild flowers. They were colorful and really looked good. She stretched her nose and sniffed. There was a faint fragrance. It's so fragrant and beautiful. Thank you. Zhao Yun'er didn't stand on ceremony and took the flowers from the children. Aunt Yun, you're welcome. The children all had bright smiles on their faces. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but smile as well. She felt that the children were a little cute. Aunt Yun, then we will go back first. All right, Zhao Yun'er replied. She really had to put up the flowers the children had sent her. Zhao Yun'er just so happened to have some ceramic jars in her house, and they were perfect for flower arrangements. Looking at the flowers in her hand, Zhao Yun'er planned to put some in her room, some in the living room, and the rest in the attic. In the attic, Zhao Yun'er had placed 2 tables, one of which was a small round table. When they had nothing to do, they could come up and drink tea. The view from the attic was good, and they could see the bottom of the mountain. What came into their eyes was a crisp color. There was also a rectangular table with a bookshelf behind it. There were some books on it. There were also brushes, ink, paper, and inkstones on the table. These were for Mu Lianfeng and Douda to read. At this time, Zhao Yun'er had put up the flowers that the children had picked, adding a touch of bright color to the attic. It was really pleasing to the eye. There was a cool breeze blowing in the attic, and it was very comfortable. Zhao Yun'er felt that it would be good to get a chaise lounge. When the time came, they could lie in the attic and take a nap in the cool breeze. Just as she finished putting up the flowers, Liang Jinxiao's voice came from downstairs. Yun'er, Zhao Yun'er replied. Mother, what's wrong? That child Lu Lei is here. Hearing Liang Jinxiao mention Lu Lei, Zhao Yun'er frowned and was a little puzzled. Lu Lei. Why did Lu Lei suddenly come to their house? Chapter 1689. When she went downstairs, she saw Lu Lei standing in front of her house with a silly smile on his face. Brother Lei, why are you here? Zhao Yun'er asked politely. It's nothing big. Your family just built a new house and is going to hold a banquet. I heard from the other villagers, so I came over to give you a gift. Brother Lei, you're too polite. Of course. We're all from the same village, so we have to celebrate with each other. Haha. Okay, Brother Lei. Zhao Yin'er didn't stand on ceremony. She didn't reject Lu Lei's offer, and took the gift money very readily. Lu Lei stared at Zhao Yin'er's eyes and looked away reluctantly from Zhao Yin'er's face. He had nothing to say and had to leave, but he couldn't bear to leave. Ever since he married Xiao Hong, his life hadn't been very good. Although Lu Hong treated him well, Xiao Hong was too controlling. Sometimes she would get angry and jealous for no reason, so he was very tired. When he was with a woman's understanding was very important. He didn't like it when women were jealous and angry for no reason. He also didn't like it when women were suspicious of him for no reason. But now that he was married to Xiao Hong, he could only bear with it and make do with his life. Brother Lei, do you want to come in and rest for a while and have a glass of water? Zhao Yin'er saw that Lu Lei had no intention of leaving, but she didn't want to chase him away. Seeing that it was awkward to just stand there, Zhao Yin'er could only greet him. Before Lu Lei could answer, someone suddenly jumped out and pointed at Zhao Yin'er and started scolding her. Zhao Yin'er, you shameless woman. Are you going to seduce someone again? You even asked my man to come to your house to rest and have a glass of water. What are you trying to do? Zhao Yin'er was slightly stunned. She didn't expect Xiao Hong to suddenly appear. Lu Lei didn't seem to expect it either. Why are you here? Xiao Hong looked at Zhao Yin'er angrily, and then complained to Lu Lei. Husband, I was wondering why you were sneaking around. It turns out that you came to find Zhao Yin'er. Lu Lei furrowed his brows and asked unhappily. So you followed me? How am I following you? I just want to see what you're doing here. Sure enough, you're doing something behind my back. You actually came to look for Zhao Yin'er. You. When Lu Lei heard Xiao Hong's words, he felt very tired. He came to look for Zhao Yin'er in secret, because he was afraid that Xiao Hong would get suspicious and let her imagination run wild. Previously, he had only helped Zhao Yin'er get some wild candles. But Xiao Hong had misunderstood and made everyone very embarrassed. This time, he simply came over secretly. Xiao Hong couldn't see him, so she naturally wouldn't let her imagination run wild. I didn't come here to do anything shameful. What's wrong with coming here? Lu Lei couldn't take it anymore and replied. Xiao Hong's eyes were covered with a layer of mist. Husband, but you came to look for Zhao Yin'er, and you said that you didn't come here to do anything shameful. What kind of bewitching potion did she give you? Why are you so obsessed with her? It's broad daylight, and you specially came here to look for her. Chapter 1690. Zhao Yin'er couldn't help but roll her eyes in her heart. What the hell was she talking about? She didn't ask Lu Lei to stay on purpose. It was just a casual remark, but in Xiao Hong's eyes, it sounded like she was doing it on purpose. Enough. Can you stop making wild guesses when you have nothing better to do? Don't let your imagination run wild. What are you talking about? Xiao Hong bit her lower lip and stood in front of Lu Lei. She said aggrievedly, Husband, I know you've been bewitched by that vixen, so I don't blame you. It's all Zhao Yin'er's fault. Zhao Yin'er felt like she had been implicated for no reason. She didn't covet Xiao Hong at all, but Xiao Hong didn't believe her and insisted on blaming her. Lu Lei was speechless. He sighed and tugged at Xiao Hong's arm. All right, can you stop making a fuss? I didn't come to Yin'er's place for anything. I just saw that Yin'er's family was going to hold a banquet, so I wanted to give Yin'er some money as a gift. When we got married, Yin'er, you gave it to us. Shouldn't we return the favor? Xiao Hong was slightly taken aback when she heard Lu Lei's words. She didn't seem to believe Lu Lei. Husband, is that really the case? What else could it be? Yin'er's gift money is still in her hand. Xiao Hong glanced at it and saw that it was indeed the case. Zhao Yin'er was holding the gift money in her hand. Husband, if that's the case, why did you sneak over? Just tell me directly and I'll send it over. Xiao Hong pursed her lips, still feeling aggrieved. If I told you, wouldn't you let your imagination run wild too? Why don't I not tell you and send it over myself secretly? That way, I won't have to go through so much trouble. When Xiao Hong heard Lu Lei's words, she felt that Lu Lei was secretly criticizing her for being insensible. Husband, when have I been such an unreasonable person? Lu Lei continued to sigh. Aren't you now? Aren't you maligning Yun'er and me? I just can't stand her behavior. You should have left after giving her the gift money. Why did she keep you? Aren't you afraid of being seen by others and spreading rumors? She was just being polite. Why do you think so much of it? Why did he have to judge others by his own standards? Are we husband and wife now? Since I married you, and you don't trust me at all, how are we going to live in the future? Alright, let's go back now. Stop messing around in front of Yun'er's house. Lu Lei said angrily. Xiao Hong seemed to have realized that she had indeed been a little too rash this time. Even so, she still felt that she should be wary of Zhao Yun'er. Yes, husband. Xiao Hong responded. Then, she walked in front of Lu Lei and hugged him. She looked very intimate with Lu Lei. Zhao Yun'er knew that Xiao Hong was purposely asserting her sovereignty in front of her. She couldn't be bothered to argue with such a woman. Speaking of which, she was also a pitiful person. A woman who lived in fear every day, afraid that her man would be seduced by another woman. What meaning was there in her life? After waiting for Xiao Hong to leave, Zhao Yun'er returned to the house. In the afternoon, people from the village came one after another. They were all here to give gifts. However, the gifts from the village weren't much. Basically, they were only a few dozen copper coins. She probably wouldn't earn much from the banquet. Chapter 1691. Yeah, this is indeed a problem. Zhao Wenhua responded from the side, then said, Why don't we hold our family's banquet a little later? It'll be fine when the weather cools down. Liang Jinxiao shook his head. That won't do. Who would delay their banquet for a few months? That's true. But there'll definitely be a lot of leftover food later. It'll be a waste if we can't finish it. The weather won't be able to preserve it, and it'll go bad. Liang Jinxiao responded, Yeah, it'll definitely go bad. How can the weather last through the night? But there's no choice. It's like this now. If we hold a banquet, it'll be the same for other people's banquets. Won't it be the same if Tianhu and Jing hold their wedding banquets later? Zhao Wenhua said, Yeah, then if all three of our families hold a banquet, it'll be a waste if we can't finish the food. Adding it all up, we'll lose a lot. Sigh, although it's a pity there's no choice. Who would have thought that we'd arrive at this time? Zhao Yun'er saw that Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua were lamenting about wasting food. Zhao Yun'er thought for a while. Since the banquet was about to be held, the food couldn't be wasted. She should make a simple refrigerator now, and put the leftover food in it later. Dad, Mom, you don't have to worry about this. I have an idea. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun'er curiously. Yun'er, you have an idea? Yun'er, what idea do you have? Could it be the well water? The well water is cool, but it'll have to be changed constantly. We don't have the time for that. Seeing Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao's curious expressions, Zhao Yun'er couldn't explain it to them. She smiled and said, Father, Mother, I have my own way. You'll know when I make it. Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua responded, Alright then. Haha, Yun'er, let's see what magical thing you've made. It's making me curious. I really want to know what it is. We'll know soon enough. Zhao Yun'er replied with a smile. Then he asked Zhao Wenhua for some wood. Father, is there any unwanted wood in our house? Zhao Wenhua nodded. His family used a lot of wood to build the house. At that time, he also brought back a lot of wood from the mountains. Many of them were not used up, and were kept at home. He looked back to see if there was anything he could use. Now that Zhao Yun'er asked, he took it out. Yun'er, why do you want this? It's to make something that can preserve vegetables. Zhao Wenshui replied. It's amazing that you can even use wooden planks. Zhao Yun'er laughed. It was normal that Zhao Wenhua couldn't figure out the reason. Father, can you saw this wood into pieces for me? Zhao Yun'er looked at the whole piece of wood, and was a little troubled. She wasn't a carpenter. It was impossible for her to know everything. She didn't know how to do this kind of thing. Zhao Wenhua smiled and said, Of course it's a pity. Father will come right away. Zhao Wenhua went to the house and found a saw. He began to gesture at the wood. Yun'er, how big do you want it to be? Zhao Yun'er gestured at the saw. When Zhao Wenhua heard it, he understood Zhao Yun'er's intention and began to work according to Zhao Yun'er's request. Soon, Zhao Wenhua finished sawing the whole piece of wood. Yun'er, have you seen enough? Chapter 1692. Haha, it's good that it's enough. If it's not enough, tell me and I'll make more. Zhao Yun'er responded. Zhao Yun'er first polished the wooden planks on the ground, then took out nails and hammered the wooden planks together. After spending an hour, he finally made a wooden box. Zhao Yun'er deliberately added a few more layers around the wooden box, so that the box's airtightness would be better. As for the inside of the box, Zhao Yun'er made some paste and sealed the box with some sand. This would ensure that the box would not be exposed to the wind. The ice cubes would not melt so quickly when placed inside. The box was neither big nor small, and could fit quite a lot of vegetables inside. She made a lid on top of it, and covered it directly. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao stared at the side. When they saw that Zhao Yun'er had only made a box after a long time, they were even more confused. Can the leftovers in this box prevent them from going bad? Liang Jinxiao could not help but ask. Zhao Yun'er was amused by Liang Jinxiao. Of course not. Mother, don't be anxious. You'll know later. Haha. Liang Jinxiao responded. Haha, okay. Mother will wait. Zhao Yun'er took the box outside to dry it. The sun was shining brightly on this hot day. After a while the paste on the box dried. Zhao Yun'er looked at it, and began to take out saltpeter to make some ice cubes. The thick ice cubes were broken and spread in the box. Zhao Yun'er then covered the box with a lid, and found a tattered quilt that she did not want. Father, Mother, this will do, Zhao Yun'er said with a smile. Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua looked at each other. Won't the ice melt easily if it's placed inside? It's such a hot day, and you're still holding on to the quilt. Won't it melt faster? That's right. Yun'er girl, you should also store the ice for one night, right? Even if you put the food in there, I don't think it will last long. When the ice melts, the food inside won't be so cold anymore, and the food will go bad again. Yun'er, are you sure this will work? Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao spoke one after another, as if they did not believe that the box was so magical. If the ice cubes were placed inside for an entire night, they would definitely melt into water. Mother, you don't know, do you? Covering it with a quilt will not only prevent it from melting, but will also slow it down. How could that be? Liang Jinxiao muttered. This quilt has a thermal insulation function. It's cool inside, and the cold air will be solidified. It's not easy for the hot air outside to get in, Zhao Yun'er explained. Is that so? Can it really be stored for one night? Zhao Yun'er nodded. It should be possible. As long as it lasts for one night, we can continue to put in more ice cubes the next day. The food definitely won't go bad if it's placed inside. Then let's try it tonight. Haha, okay. Zhao Yun'er was very confident in the simple refrigerator she made. She could make a few more of this refrigerator later, and send one to Mulan's family. They would definitely be able to use it. Seeing the simple refrigerator that was made, Zhao Yun'er couldn't wait to make some herbal tea, and other things to put in it. It was very easy to get heat stroke on such a hot day. It would be good to make some iced mung bean soup. Chapter 1693. Mother, I'm going to cook some mung bean soup. Now. Yes. It's still early. Cook some mung bean soup, and put it in ice later. Eat some after dinner. Liang Jinxiao responded. Alright then, I'll cook some. Let's see if what you make is useful. Okay. Zhao Yun'er made some mung beans. This thing was not rare in the countryside, and was not expensive. It was about the same price as rice. A large pot of mung bean soup probably cost less than 10 copper coins. After washing the mung beans, she put them in the pot to cook. When they were done, she added sugar and left them to cool. When Zhao Yun'er came out of the kitchen, she saw a figure looking left and right in front of her house. It was none other than Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng looked into the house, as if she was looking for someone. Zhao Yun'er's eyebrows twisted. This woman began to run to her house in a dishonest manner again? What are you doing? Zhao Yun'er asked. Ma Xiaofeng looked in the direction of Zhao Yun'er's voice. Sister Yun'er, Ma Xiaofeng's face immediately lit up with a smile, and called out sweetly to Zhao Yin'er. Zhao Yun, did not give Ma Xiaofeng any face. Instead, she asked indifferently, Sister Xiaofeng, why are you here? Ma Xiaofeng moved closer to Zhao Yin'er and said intimately, Sister Yin'er, I heard that your family built a new house and is going to hold a banquet, so I wanted to send some money as a gift to celebrate. Everyone in our village came to give it to you. Seeing the flattering smile on Ma Xiaofeng's face, Zhao Yin'er felt that it was very fake. Unfortunately, this woman herself did not seem to feel it. Zhao Yin'er still had an indifferent attitude. There's no need to be so polite. Little sister Xiaofeng's family isn't having an easy time now. It's better to keep the money for your family to spend. It's fine as long as I know what you're thinking. Ma Xiaofeng was slightly stunned. She understood what Zhao Yin'er meant. On the surface, Zhao Yin'er was polite to her, as if she was considerate of her. In fact, she just didn't want to accept her gift money, and didn't want to have anything to do with her family. Sister Yin'er, my family isn't that poor right now. We earned some money from setting up a stall with Sister Pinger, and we haven't used it all yet. He was still able to fork out a few dozen copper coins as a gift. Sister Yin'er, you don't have to be so polite with me. As Ma Xiaofeng spoke, she stuffed a few dozen copper coins into Zhao Yin'er's hands. The corners of Zhao Yin'er's mouth curled up into a meaningful smile. Was she trying to curry favor with her? Little sister Xiaofeng, isn't it better to buy something good for your mother to nourish her body? As Zhao Yin'er spoke, she stuffed the copper coins back into Ma Xiaofeng's hands. A trace of unwillingness flashed across Ma Xiaofeng's eyes. The corners of her mouth twitched, and her smile looked awkward. Sister Yin'er, actually you don't have to be so polite with me. It makes us seem very distant. It's just a few dozen copper coins. My mother's body doesn't lack these few dozen copper coins to nourish her body. Zhao Yin'er chuckled and replied, her tone carrying a bit of sarcasm and alienation. Little sister Xiaofeng, when were we familiar with each other? Sister Yin'er. With Zhao Yin'er directly exposing their relationship, Ma Xiaofeng was very embarrassed. She didn't expect Zhao Yin'er to be so rude. She didn't care about her face at all. Chapter 1694. So little sister Xiaofeng, you don't have to be polite. You should take the money back. Besides, if I accept your gift money for my family's banquet, it would be inconvenient for you and your mother to come over to eat. I still have to accept this favor. I can't return it to you. Ma Xiaofeng looked at the dozens of copper coins in her hand, and she felt very uncomfortable. Zhao Yin'er accepted the gifts from others, but she didn't accept hers. This kind of differential treatment made Ma Xiaofeng feel even more uncomfortable in her heart. She didn't do anything wrong to Zhao Yin'er before. Ma Xiaofeng really didn't understand why Zhao Yin'er had such a big prejudice against her. Little sister Xiaofeng, is there anything else? If there's nothing else, I still have something to do. I won't entertain you. Ma Xiaofeng wanted to say something, but when she saw Zhao Yin'er's cold and indifferent face, she suddenly stopped talking. Okay, then Sister Yin'er, forget it. Ma Xiaofeng said with some hypocrisy. Little sister Xiaofeng, take care. Come and play again when you have time. Zhao Yin'er smiled and greeted her. Okay, Sister Yin'er. Ma Xiaofeng's mouth pulled out a smile, and she also faked a smile. After leaving Zhao Yin'er's house, Ma Xiaofeng's mood was a little lost. She knew in her heart that in old Zhao's family, the highest status was still Zhao Yin'er. The third branch had to listen to Zhao Yin'er for everything. If Zhao Yin'er didn't agree, the other people in the third branch would definitely consider it. Even if she provoked the relationship between Zhao Tianan and Mu Hin. So what if Zhao Tianan changed his mind? If Zhao Yin'er didn't agree, would she still stick to Zhao Tianan? Did she want to change someone now? Find someone better than Zhao Tianan? However, she knew everyone in the village. How could it be easy to find someone better than Zhao Tianan? Ma Xiaofeng walked back with some frustration. Suddenly, she saw a man standing not far behind Zhao Yin'er's new house. This man was tall and handsome, and his temperament was even more outstanding. This person was none other than Mu Lianfeng. Which woman wouldn't like a man with such good looks and a good family background? Ma Xiaofeng's heart trembled slightly when she saw Mu Lianfeng standing not far away. Wouldn't it be great if she could have some sort of relationship with this kind of proud son of heaven? Unfortunately, Ma Xiaofeng knew her limits. What was her status, and what was Mu Lianfeng's status? The difference between the two of them was too big. It was not easy to gain Mu Lianfeng's favor. Not everyone in the world was as lucky as Zhao Yuner, but on second thought, wasn't Zhao Yuner just an ordinary country girl? Why could Zhao Yuner do it, but she couldn't? Logically speaking, she was younger than Zhao Yuner. Which man didn't like young women and liked older women? Ma Xiaofeng saw that Mu Lianfeng's clothes were caught in the thorns on the ground. She hurriedly ran over to Mu Lianfeng. Lord Heir, don't pull. If you pull with all your strength, I reckon that you'll tear your clothes. Ma Xiaofeng moved closer to Mu Lianfeng and said softly. Mu Lianfeng raised his head and glanced at Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng smiled and explained, Lord Heir, these thorns have barbs. The more you pull, the easier it will tear your clothes. Your clothes are so expensive. Wouldn't it be a waste if they tear? Let me help you. Chapter 1695. After it was done, Ma Xiaofeng got up from the ground and smiled at Mu Lianfeng. Shiziyi, it's done. Fortunately, the clothes aren't ruined. Otherwise, it would be a pity. Mu Lianfeng looked at the clothes that were taken off. Although he was not used to Ma Xiaofeng's sudden enthusiasm, Mu Lianfeng still thanked her. Thank you. Ma Xiaofeng was flattered and waved her hand. Shiziyi, you're too polite. It's just a small matter. Mu Lianfeng nodded politely and smiled. This smile was quite magnificent. Ma Xiaofeng was stunned. The feeling that emerged in her heart was that Mu Lianfeng was really too handsome and good-looking. This kind of man was really a stunner. He was really the best. It was rare to see such a good-looking man. When Mu Lianfeng was about to turn around and leave, Ma Xiaofeng suddenly called out to Mu Lianfeng. Shiziyi, wait a moment. Mu Lianfeng stopped and turned to Ma Xiaofeng. Is there anything else? Ma Xiaofeng opened her mouth and found that she had nothing to say to Mu Lianfeng. She couldn't even start a conversation. If she forced herself to say something, she would only feel awkward. No, nothing. Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but look at Ma Xiaofeng a few more times. He felt that Ma Xiaofeng's behavior was a little strange. She clearly had something to say, but in the end, she didn't say it. Since there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Okay. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's tall and straight back as he left, Ma Xiaofeng couldn't help but sigh. Mu Lianfeng was really a man among men. Why was Zhao Yun so lucky to win Mu Lianfeng's heart? Compared to Zhao Tianan, after seeing Mu Lianfeng, Ma Xiaofeng realized how low her requirements were. Her request for men was limited to the village. Zhao Tianan's conditions were indeed good in the village. With a brother-in-law like Mu Lianfeng to rely on, his life would not be too bad. But at the end of the day, you are still an ordinary person. If she wanted to find someone, she should find someone with money and status, just like Mu Lianfeng. If she could get close to someone rich and powerful, she would be able to lead her mother and younger brother's family of 3 to live a good life. She wouldn't have to worry about her mother and her being scolded and gossiped by the villagers. She also wouldn't have to worry about Ma Xiaoyu being bullied by the children in the same village. Ma Xiaofeng withdrew her hand from Mu Lianfeng's body and went back with a thoughtful look on her face. When Mu Lianfeng returned to Zhao Yuner's house, Zhao Yuner had already cooked the mung bean soup and put it on the stove to let it cool down. The weather was very hot. When Mu Lianfeng came back from the mountain, his forehead was covered with a thick layer of sweat beads. Mu Lianfeng, do you want to drink some mung bean soup? Zhao Yuner brought a bowl of mung bean soup to Mu Lianfeng and asked. Okay. Mu Lianfeng smiled and took it. At this moment he was thirsty. Unexpectedly, Zhao Yuner just handed a bowl of mung bean soup to him. Zhao Yuner added a few pieces of ice, so the mung bean soup was cold. When he drank it, it was very cool. This mung bean soup was very thirst-quenching and tasted very good. When he drank it, he felt a lot more comfortable. After drinking it, Mu Lianfeng wiped the corners of his mouth and wiped the sweat beads on his forehead. It's as delicious as the sour plum soup. Yin no one can be better than you when it comes to serving these things. Mu Lianfeng was not stingy with his praise. Chapter 1696. Indeed, Yinner, you did a good job. I'm not the only one who's greedy, Mu Lianfeng said with a smile. When his laughter came, Mu Lianfeng's smile made people feel like they were bathing in the spring breeze. In this hot summer, it made people feel a little cool. Seeing Zhao Yinner staring at him, Mu Lianfeng touched his face and said, Yinner, why are you looking at me like that? Is there something on my face? Zhao Yinner shook her head. No, I'm looking at you because you're good-looking and have a nice smile. You're such a good-looking person. Don't you want me to look at you? Mu Lianfeng shook his head. Of course not. Since Yinner likes to look at me, you can look at me as much as you want. Haha. After Mu Lianfeng finished a bowl of soup, and Zhao Yinner also filled a bowl, the heat of the afternoon dissipated by more than half. Compared to sour plum soup, mung bean soup was better at relieving the heat. Zhao Yinner remembered that when she was young, she followed her grandparents. Every summer during the busy farming season, her grandmother would cook a big pot of mung bean soup for them. Every time she came back and didn't have an appetite, she would drink more mung bean soup. After drinking it, she would feel cool and her appetite would be much better. Zhao Yinner then called Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua to drink some. Although the two of them had eaten mung bean soup before, they had never missed the ice cubes. Compared to Zhao Yinner, they were naturally much worse. The large pot of mung bean soup was not small. Zhao Yinner went to bring some to Mulan. Zhu Eru just came back from working outside. He was bare-chested and stuffed with some black clothes. At this time, Zhu Eru's skin was bronze. At a glance, it was obvious that he often worked in the fields. Men who worked hard in the countryside were all like this. At this time, although Zhu Eru had taken off his clothes, there were still a lot of sweat beads on his body. The sweat kept flowing down his skin, as if he had been drenched in the rain. Probably because it was too hot, Zhu Eru poured cold water into his mouth while fanning himself with a fan. Mulan saw that her husband was so tired, so she said to Zhu Eru, Honey, wait a minute. I'll go to the room and bring you some cold water. You can wipe your body with some cold water. You'll cool down soon. Zhu Eru replied, All right. As soon as Mulan came out with a basin of cold water, Zhao Yinner brought the mung bean soup over. Come, I've brought you some delicious food. Zhao Yinner greeted them with a smile. Mulan's children excitedly surrounded Zhao Yinner and asked her, Aunt Zhao Yin, what delicious food did you bring for me today? Aunt Yin, what delicious food did you bring? Zhao Yinner smiled and pointed to the mung bean soup. It's this mung bean soup. Have you tried it before? The children nodded their heads heavily. They had tried mung bean soup before, but it was not often. It was only a few times. Although mung beans were not expensive, sugar was very expensive. Ordinary people could not afford it. If there was no sugar in the mung bean soup, it would be tasteless. It would not taste good at all. Come drink. Zhao Yinner continued to greet them, and handed a bowl to each of them. Mulan also handed a bowl to Zhu Eru. Chapter 1697. Yinner, we don't need to give it to the children. It's enough. Zhao Yu knew that Mulan and Zhu Eru were being polite to her again. She glanced at Mulan and said, Sister-in-law Mulan, it's fine to be polite to others, but why are you being polite to me? Since I'm asking you to drink it, it must be enough. Mulan was silent for a while and said with a smile, Since Yinner said so, Eru and I will drink it. Drink it. It's okay. There's still a lot in the pot at home. Brother Eru just came back from work, and is so tired. It's good to drink it to relieve the heat. Zhao Yinner said with a smile. Seeing that Zhao Yinner was so polite, and gave everything good to their family, Mulan felt sorry. Yinner, I'll make it myself later and send some to you too. Zhao Yinner didn't stand on ceremony and agreed with a smile. After giving it to Mulan's family, Liang Jinxiao proposed to send some mung bean soup to the fourth branch. Little girl Yin we actually cooked so much mung bean candy in our family's pot. Why don't we give some to your fourth uncle and fourth aunt? The two of them have helped our family a lot of work these days. Especially your fourth uncle. Your father has been busy with our family's fields recently, so he's been taking care of them all by himself. Otherwise, our rice won't grow well this year, and we won't have enough to eat. Zhao Yin'er had this plan. Okay, mother. I'll send some to my fourth uncle and fourth aunt. It's good to let them have a taste. Haha, okay. Why don't mother go? You can rest at home. Zhao Yin'er waved her hand. No need, mother. I'll go. You're pregnant. It's inconvenient for you to move around. Liang Jingxiao smiled. Okay then. Yin'er, you go. Take it slowly. I know, mother. It's not that far away. What can happen? After saying that, Zhao Yin'er went to the kitchen and took out a small jar of mung bean soup. She estimated that there were 4 or 5 bowls, which was enough for the fourth branch to drink. Although it was said to relieve the heat, it was cold after all. One couldn't drink too much of it, or else one would have a stomachache. When they arrived at the courtyard of old Zhao's house, they found that there was a carriage parked in front of old Zhao's house. It was obviously from a rich family. Su Xiaoxiao was curious. What kind of big shot had come to old Zhao's house again? Could it be Zhao Jinger's future husband? When Zhao Yin'er walked into old Zhao's courtyard, she realized that it wasn't young Master Zheng who had come, but Zhao Xinhui. After Zhao Xinhui married young Master Meng, she probably lived a good life every day. Zhao Xinhui basically didn't return to her parents' home. Now that she was back, she made such a big fuss about it, as if she was afraid that others wouldn't know that she was now rich. In old Zhao's courtyard, the other branches all came out and chatted with Zhao Xinhui. Hua Chunhua was very happy to hear that Zhao Xinhui was back. A smile appeared on her gloomy face, and she looked very excited. Zhao Xinhui was probably the only one who could make Hua Chunhua happy. Everyone else treasured their sons, but Hua Chunhua was the only one who treasured her youngest daughter. Feng Zhangxia warmly cozied up to Zhao Xinhui. Aunt, you're finally back. I've missed you so much. We're usually together all the time, but now that you're married, we can't even see each other for months. You're finally back today. Hearing Feng Zhangxia's words, Zhao Yin'er felt the mung bean soup she had just drunk surge up, and she almost threw it up. Chapter 1698. Feng Zhangxia's words were not enough. She even pulled Zhao Xinhui's hand affectionately and said, Little sister, you've changed after living in a rich family. Look at your face and skin. You've also gained some weight. Your complexion is much better than before. You've become much more radiant. Zhao Xinhui seemed to be very pleased with Feng Zhangxia's words. Of course. How can it compare to living in the village? Rich people's lives are much better than those in the countryside. Feng Zhangxia replied eagerly. Yes, yes. That's why I say that little sister is the luckiest. Everyone in the village is better off than little sister. Hua Chunhua also had a smile on her face. After hearing Feng Zhangxia's words, Hua Chunhua interrupted. My daughter's good life is preordained by the heavens. She's a person who enjoys happiness. Haha, mother is also lucky to have a daughter like little sister. Although the other branches came out, it was only out of courtesy. They were not really happy that Zhao Xinhui was back. After all, no matter how well Zhao Xinhui married and lived, it had nothing to do with the other branches. She had to rely on herself to live. Zhao Xinhui would not give them charity. So what was the use of flattering Feng Zhangxia? Could it be that he wanted to get some benefits from Zhao Xinhui? Hua Chunhua moved closer to Zhao Xinhui and asked, By the way, Hui'er, are you going to leave again today? I'm not leaving. Zhao Xinhui shook her head. It's almost night. Why should I leave? Mother, do you have a brain? Although Zhao Xinhui did not give her any face in public, Hua Chunhua was not angry. Instead, she said happily, It's good that you're not leaving. It's not easy for Hui'er to come home. You should stay at home for a few days. Yes, Zhao Xinhui replied. That was what she planned to do. In fact, it was not that she wanted to come back. She had no choice but to come back. She was favored by the Meng family and became arrogant. She offended young Master Meng's first wife. Young Master Meng was protective of her, but this first wife was very powerful. Her family background was not bad, and her status in the Meng family was very high. After falling out with the first wife, she directly invited the old master and the old madam, to come over to help her. How could old Master Meng and old Madam Meng allow a concubine in the service to bully their first wife? They immediately chased Zhao Xinhui back. Although young Master Meng was reluctant to part with Zhao Xinhui, he dared not to disobey old Lady Meng and old Master Meng. After discussing with Zhao Xinhui, they decided to let Zhao Xinhui stay in her parents' home for a while. When old Master Meng and old Lady Meng calmed down, they would take her back. Zhao Xinhui had no choice but to agree. Zhao Xinhui felt stifled at the thought of going back to her mother's home and not knowing how long she would stay there. She did not want to spend a day in her parents' home. Xianmu said that the food and living here were not even 1,000th of the good ones in the Meng family. There was no servant to serve her and no one to scold her. She was not happy at all. Now she just hoped that young Master Meng would come to take her back earlier. She wanted to stay less in her parents' home and suffer less. Haha hui. I'll clean up the room for you now. I'll cook something delicious for you in the evening. Hey, I'll catch a chicken for you to eat later. Hua Chunhua said, and was ready to clean up the room. Chapter 1699. Hua Chunhua glared at Zhao Baoshan. Old man, what are you saying? It's not easy for Hui to come back, so I killed a chicken to make something nice for her to eat. What's wrong with that? So what if she's back? Whose family's daughter would be served with such good food? It's as if it's more grand than a festival. Zhao Baoshan snorted, his face full of displeasure. Hua Chunhua put her hands on her hips. I say, old man, how can we do as you say? They are different people, and Hui is Hui, who asked our Hui to have the ability to marry into a good family. She gave us so many good things, so can't she come back to kill a chicken and treat us well? Fine, whatever you say. Zhao Baoshan couldn't be bothered to continue arguing with Hua Chunhua. Old man, your temper is too much. Hui, don't bother with your father, he just can't get his head around it. Zhao Xinhui was speechless as she looked at her parents. Her father couldn't bear to kill a chicken for her to eat, so she was naturally unhappy. However, even if Hua Chunhua killed a chicken for her to eat, she wouldn't care. After living a good life in the Meng residence, Zhao Xinhui didn't care about chickens anymore. She was even too lazy to eat them. Mother, don't tidy up the room first. Hurry and get me a cup of water. I'm dying of thirst after rushing back. If I don't drink some water on such a hot day, I'll feel uncomfortable. Zhao Xinhui used her sleeve to fan herself, feeling uncomfortable from the heat. At this time, her forehead was covered with a thin layer of sweat. She felt that old Zhao's residence was hotter than the Meng residence. There was a courtyard in the Meng residence that was specially used to avoid the heat, so people wouldn't feel too stuffy sitting there to rest. Zhao Xinhui felt that she couldn't stand being cooped up in the carriage after rushing back. Hua Chunhua chuckled in response. Okay, mother will get you some water first. With that, Hua Chunhua went back into the room, brought out a cup of water, and handed it to Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui gulped down a few mouthfuls. Although she wasn't so thirsty, the heat still didn't dissipate. Mother, our house is so hot, how can we sleep at night? Zhao Xinhui complained. Hua Chunhua smiled and comforted her. It's okay, it's hot during the day, but it's not so hot at night. I'll make you a mat for you to sleep on it. It's still hot, Zhao Xinhui muttered. Zhao, I don't know how you've been living before. For so many years you've been in the summer at home all these years, for so many years, Zhao. You use. To it you. It. You. Go back and enjoy life. Father. Zhao Xinhui felt embarrassed when she heard Zhao Baoshan's scolding. Hua Chunhua quickly defended her. Old man, what are you saying? Hui came back after so much difficulty, and you want her to leave? What kind of father are you? How can you treat your own daughter like this? Zhao Baoshan's nostrils were steaming. I'm just speaking the truth. Look at her. She doesn't even know her own status. She can be the master in the Meng residence and be picky. Now that she's back in her maiden home, what's the meaning of her being picky? Is she giving us a hard time? We're already so old, and we still have to serve her. Unfilial thing, We raised her for nothing. Chapter 1700. Zhao Yin'er, who was watching from the side, suddenly felt refreshed when she heard Zhao Baoshan's words. It was rare for old Zhao's family to have a sensible person. Seeing Zhao Xinhui's pretentious appearance, Zhao Yin'er felt uncomfortable. However, Zhao Yin'er couldn't be bothered to care about things that had nothing to do with her. If it weren't for the fact that they couldn't go back to the Meng residence now, Zhao Xinhui would have definitely turned around and left immediately after hearing what Zhao Baoshan said. Hua Chunhua's mouth twitched, and she said to Zhao Baoshan, "Hui'er's father, Hui'er rarely comes back to her parents' home. Look at the things you say and do that make Hui'er sad. If Hui'er really leaves, will you be so happy? She's your biological daughter, right?" After hearing what Hua Chunhua said, Zhao Baoshan sighed and didn't continue speaking. Indeed, it wasn't easy for his daughter to come back. Although he had many prejudices, he couldn't force Zhao Xinhui, who had finally come back, to leave. After Zhao Baoshan stopped speaking, old Zhao's family fell into silence, and the atmosphere was very awkward. The other members of old Zhao's family didn't know what to say, afraid that they would be reprimanded by Zhao Baoshan if they said too much. Zhao Yin'er couldn't keep dawdling, so she greeted Zhao Wentao and Qian Hongzhao. "Fourth uncle, fourth aunt. Yin'er, why are you looking for us?" Zhao Wentao thought that Zhao Yin'er's family needed help, so he asked with concern. Zhao Yin'er shook her head. "Nothing, I just came to give you something." "Give us something? What did you give us?" Zhao Wentao asked curiously. "A little something to eat." Zhao Yin'er smiled and handed over the jar. Zhao Wentao opened it and said to Zhao Yin'er with some surprise, "Oh Yin'er, this is mung bean soup." "Yes, it's mung bean soup. It's good for relieving the heat, so I brought some for fourth uncle and fourth aunt to try." Zhao Wentao laughed heartily and didn't decline pretentiously. "Haha, okay, fourth uncle will accept it." "Okay. You can try it." "Okay." Zhao Wentao responded. When the other families heard Zhao Yin'er and Zhao Wentao's words, they felt uncomfortable. Feng Zhangxia and Qian Hongzheng, and she said, Yin'er, why didn't you bring some mung bean soup to us?" Zhao Wenshui echoed from behind. "That's right, Yin'er, your fourth uncle and fourth aunt are your elders. Aren't we also your uncles? Why can't we give you some?" Yin'er, that's not good. We are all relatives. How can you give mung bean soup to your fourth uncle and fourth aunt, but not to us? Do you still treat us as your elders? Go back and quickly bring some over, so we can try it too." Zhao Wenshui said. These people were very thick-skinned, and didn't feel that there was anything wrong with what they said. Zhao Yin'er only found it funny and asked coldly, "Eldest uncle, eldest aunt, second uncle, you are really joking. I sent mung bean soup to fourth uncle and fourth aunt, because my father has been busy building the house, and fourth uncle has been helping with all the work in our family's fields. Now that I have something to give to fourth uncle and fourth aunt, it's only right. If you help my family with the work in the fields, then I will send some to you too." After Zhao Yin'er finished speaking, the few of them stopped talking. Chapter 1701. Yin'er, it's not right for you to say that. We're all relatives and your elders. What's wrong with giving us some food? Do we have to work for your family in exchange? Zhao Wenshui muttered. He was too lazy to help Zhao Yin'er's family work, but he wanted to drink some mung bean soup, so he said that. Feng Zhangxia followed Zhao Wenshui and replied, "That's right. Little girl Yin'er, why are you still being so calculative? We don't have to drink much, just give us less." Zhao Yin'er sneered. How thick-skinned must they be to say such words? She had already made it so clear, but these people were still chasing after her. Second uncle and eldest aunt really know how to joke. Even blood-related brothers settle accounts clearly. Why should I, a married woman, be filial to you? So what if you're my elders? Zhao Yin'er's reply made Zhao Wenshui and Feng Zhangxia choke. What she said was reasonable. A married daughter was like spilled water. She didn't even need to care about her parents. So how could she be filial to other elders? There's no free lunch in this world. I'll only give them food if they help me. There's no free lunch. If second uncle and eldest aunt encounter a free lunch next time, remember to call me. I'll join in the fun and take advantage of it. Zhao Wenshui and Feng Zhangxia's expressions were a little ugly. They knew that Zhao Yuner wasn't easy to deal with. If they wanted the mung bean soup, not only would they not get it, but they would also be humiliated by Zhao Yuner. Seeing that these people had stopped making trouble, Zhao Yuner withdrew the coldness in her eyes. She turned to Zhao Wentao and Qian Hongzhao and said, "Fourth uncle, fourth aunt, hurry up and drink it. This thing is cold now and relieves the heat. It won't be cold for a long time, and the taste will be a little worse." Zhao Wentao and Qian Hongzhao nodded with a smile. Okay, we'll drink it right away." As she spoke, Qian Zhaozhao went into the house and took out a few bowls. She poured some for the children at home first. Then, the couple picked up the bowls and drank the remaining mung bean soup. The mung bean soup was sweet. After adding ice cubes, it was a little cold. It tasted very good in the mouth. Good. Zhao Wentao gulped a few mouthfuls of mung bean soup into his stomach. After drinking it, he felt a lot more refreshed, and the heat in his body had mostly subsided. He suddenly felt very comfortable. "Yuner girl, the food you gave me is really good. Apart from being delicious, it can quench my thirst and relieve the heat. Now I feel that my stomach is very cool. It's better to drink this on a hot day than anything else." Qian Zhaozhua wiped the corner of her mouth. After drinking the mung bean soup, she smiled and said, "Yes. On such a hot day, people's appetites were not good. Drinking this would make them feel much better. It was even better than eating fish and meat. I feel like most of the heat in my body has been taken away. Drinking water is not so effective." Zhao Yuner chuckled. "Fourth uncle, fourth aunt, it's good that you like it. This thing isn't worth much, but it's suitable for drinking in this weather." "Yes." Zhao Xinhui's heart skipped a beat when she heard that. She was feeling unbearably hot and had no appetite. Was Zhao Yuner's mung bean soup really that effective? If she drank it, she wouldn't be as hot as she was now, right? Zhao Xinhui thought for a moment, then asked Yuner, "Yuner girl, do you still have mung bean soup at home?" Chapter 1702. What's the matter, younger aunt? Zhao Yuner raised her eyebrows and asked. Zhao Xinhui raised her chin. Don't misunderstand. I'm not like second brother and eldest sister-in-law who ask you for free. Go back and make some mung bean soup for me. I'll pay you. Zhao Xinhui thought that Zhao Yuner would definitely sell the soup as long as she paid. Zhao Yuner directly refused. Younger aunt, I'm sorry. My mung bean soup is for myself. It's not for sale. Zhao Xinhui's face suddenly darkened. She said to Zhao Yuner in displeasure, You can give it to fourth brother and fourth sister-in-law for free. Why can't you sell it to me? It's not like I'm asking you for free. Zhao Yuner disliked Zhao Xinhui's current attitude the most. Did she think that she could have whatever she wanted just because she had some money in her hands? Being with young Master Meng, she was covered in the stench of money. It was very disgusting. Younger aunt, if I'm not selling, then I'm not selling. Don't tell me you want to force me to sell it? Zhao Yuner asked with a sneer. You! Zhao Xinhui glared at Zhao Yuner angrily. This wretched girl deliberately made her feel uncomfortable. Hua Chuanhua's sharp ears overheard the conversation between Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Yuner. She rushed out of the room angrily, walked to Zhao Yuner and scolded Zhao Yuner. I say, Yuner girl, why are you so stingy? Can't you just sell some mung bean soup to your younger aunt? What's wrong? Is it my fault that you don't want to sell my things? Zhao Yuner asked jokingly. You did it on purpose. Hua Chunhua glared at Zhao Yuner angrily. I did it on purpose. What's wrong with that? You wretched girl. Hua Chunhua stomped her feet angrily. Zhao Yuner didn't take Hua Chunhua seriously at all. Her voice was neither cold nor indifferent. Younger aunt, I'm not that short of money, so I don't want to make money by selling these things. Next time, don't say that you want to buy things with money in front of me. If I'm willing to give it to you, I'll give it to you even if you don't want it. If you don't want it, then you won't get it even if you spend money. Zhao Xinhui's resentful gaze fell on Zhao Yuner. This be fourth uncle, fourth aunt, then I'll go back first. Zhao Yuner greeted them with a smile, and then left the courtyard of old Zhao's house. Hua Chunhua looked at Zhao Yuner's back and scolded, this wretched girl. She's getting more and more outrageous. She doesn't know the rules at all. She'll say that old Zhao's daughter has no manners. Feng Zhangxia pursed her lips and said in a sour tone. That's right. It's fine if she doesn't let us drink it. Younger aunt doesn't want to sell it even if we spend money. The third branch is living a good life now. They have good food and drink, and they don't care about money. We can't compare to them. Haha, no matter how good the third branch is living, it's their business. It has nothing to do with us. We shouldn't have separated from the family in the first place. Hua Chunhua felt a burst of regret. If the third branch was part of the family, they would have to share it with them now. Everyone would be able to live a good life. Zhao Baoshan's cold words drifted into Hua Chunhua's ears. Now you're saying that. If we hadn't separated from the family, would you have eaten shit? Speaking of eating shit, Hua Chunhua's face suddenly changed. This matter was a shadow for her. Thinking of it made her feel unusually uncomfortable. Chapter 1703. After being rebuked by Zhao Baoshan, Hua Chunhua was suddenly at a loss for words. Old man. Zhao Baoshan took a puff of his pipe and slowly mocked. That's why I said let's not talk about the future. She's living a good life now, and you're regretting it. If she's not living a good life, you'll be glad that you didn't drag her down. Am I right? Hua Chunhua couldn't argue with Zhao Baoshan. She turned around and went back to Zhao Xinhui's house to continue tidying up. In the next 2 days, the villagers sent gifts one after another. Zhao Yun'er also prepared to hold a banquet. It wasn't easy to hold a banquet. She had to go to the town to do some shopping. However, Zhao Yun'er was very anxious these days. She was always worried about Tiantian's situation. Tiantian was still in the tiger's den. She didn't know if Tiantian was okay. This tiger was an animal after all. It couldn't take care of Tiantian like a human. That child was still so young. She didn't know if there would be any problems. After the banquet, she had to discuss with Mu Lianfeng before going up the mountain to take a look. It would be best if she could find an opportunity to bring Tiantian back. Speaking of which, this child's life was a little hard. She was born prematurely and was abandoned by her parents. It wasn't easy for her to get better, but she was taken away by a white tiger. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but worry. She didn't know if Tiantian's life would be bumpy. The well at home began to be officially built. After a while, they would be able to use the well water. It would save them the trouble of fetching water from the river. Zhao Yun'er didn't neglect the renovation of the courtyard. After the fence was completed, Zhao Yun'er and Mulan went up the mountain together. They found some wild flowers and dug them back to plant in the courtyard. It would be best if she planted some fruit trees, such as grape trees, pomegranate trees, and orange trees. When the fruits ripened, she could pick them to eat. The day before the banquet, Zhao Yun'er ran to Yang City to start shopping. Zhao Yun'er bought some meat, chicken, duck, and fish. She mainly spent money on the meat dishes. She bought a lot of vegetables, but didn't spend much money. The country people liked to eat meat the most when drinking wine, so they usually ate vegetarian food at home. When Zhao Yun'er arrived in Yang City, she found that Zhao Ping, and Ma Xiaofeng had already started setting up a stall. Both of their injuries, and they could start setting up a stall to earn more money. When did you start setting? Zhao. Zhao. Sister Zhao. She said, when did you start, Zhao sister? Sister. When? Sister, send. If I hadn't come to Yang City to buy things, I wouldn't have known that you had already set up a stall. How much money did you take from me? Zhao Pinger's expression was a little ugly. You. What nonsense are you talking about? Who took your money? Zhao Yun'er curled her lips and sneered. Is that so? You set up a stall so sneakily. You didn't share the money you earned with me. How dare you say that you didn't take my money? Ma Xiaofeng hurriedly explained to Zhao Yun'er. Sister Yun'er, you misunderstood. How could we take your money? We just set up this stall today. Naturally, we'll share the money with you when we earn. Zhao Yun'er turned to Ma Xiaofeng and raised her eyebrows. Is that so? Ma Xiaofeng smiled embarrassedly. Of course. Sister Yun'er, how could we lie to you? Sister Pinger, don't you think so? Chapter 1704. How could Zhao Yin'er believe their nonsense? They just wanted to give her less money, thinking that she didn't know that they were secretly setting up a stall. These two people were dishonest, so she didn't need to continue working with them. Elder sister Ping, or younger sister Xiaofeng. I'll know whether or not you've just set up a stall today, so you can't fool me. But since you're dishonest, I don't think I need to continue working with you. When Zhao Ping and Ma Xiaofeng ran out of the mushroom powder in their hands, she wouldn't provide any more. Naturally, their business wouldn't be able to continue. When Zhao Ping and Ma Xiaofeng heard Zhao Yin'er's words, their expressions changed, and they said anxiously, Zhao Yin, how can you do this? Seeing Zhao Ping's anxious look, Zhao Yin'er replied indifferently, Sister Ping, you didn't abide by the agreement first. How can you say that it's my fault? When did I say I wouldn't give you a share? The reason why I didn't give you the money for these few days was that I deliberately kept it for my medical expenses. Your family's little black bit me, so you have to compensate me, right? Zhao Yin'er laughed coldly. You reap what you sow. You provoked my family's little black first. Anyway, you have to compensate me for my medical expenses. I'm just keeping it. When Zhao Yin'er saw Zhao Ping's tyrannical look, she said, All right then. Sister Ping, you can forget about the money you deducted, but our cooperation ends here. When Ma Xiaofeng heard this, she became anxious and scolded Zhao Ping, in her heart for being so stupid. How much money was deducted? If Zhao Yin'er ended their cooperation, they wouldn't be able to earn much money in the future, and their losses would be more than that. Sister Yin'er, don't be agitated. Our cooperation still needs to be done. Sister Ping was a little impulsive. This is her fault. She shouldn't have deducted your money. Ma Xiaofeng hurriedly said to Zhao Yin'er. Zhao Ping was a little unconvinced. Xiaofeng, why are you helping Zhao Yin? It's her fault to begin with. I didn't deduct her money for no reason. Is there a need to bully her like this? Ma Xiaofeng rolled her eyes at Zhao Ping in her heart. This woman was simply hopelessly stupid. At this time, she still said such words. If Zhao Ping really terminated the cooperation with them, she would cry. Sister Ping, these are two different things. You should give this money to Sister Yin. About the medical fees, you can discuss it again. You can't just deduct it like this. Zhao Ping, pursed her lips and said unhappily. Discuss it with her? Discuss my ass. Why would an unreasonable person pay for my medical bills? I don't want to suffer this loss for nothing. If it weren't for Zhao Yin'er, Ma Xiaofeng really wanted to crack open Zhao Ping's head to see if Zhao Ping's brain was filled with shit. Did some words have to be said clearly for Zhao Ping, to understand? Zhao Yin'er's eyes turned cold. Zhao Ping's days were still too carefree. Since that's the case, then the money I got from setting up the stall these few days will be used as Sister Ping's medical fees. In the future, no matter how much money Sister Ping earns, it has nothing to do with me. There's no need for our cooperation to continue. I won't cooperate with people who aren't honest, and I don't want to waste time arguing. Zhao Yin'er said and turned to leave. Ma Xiaofeng rushed in front of Zhao Yin'er and blocked Zhao Yin'er's way. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.